The following is a Channel 29 special sports presentation.
Are going to have it inside their 5-yard line. What a turn of events, Tim. What a turn of events. Hampton can take this ball in with less than a minute and 20 to go. Take the lead. Oh, wow. Can you believe that? That might have been a better job had the guy looked like the Crabbers were in terrible condition, and now they've got it first and goal at the 3-yard line. Tony Hyman, then they had an illegal motion because he wasn't sure. Oh, wow. Seeing Tim, a field goal doesn't do you any good. You got to score. That's going to take them back to about the 8 or 9 yard line. And if they don't take the penalty, their coaching staff is crazy. Well, they're going to take the penalty. That's no question about that. You've got to make that team get the yard. The call, the official said, don't talk to me about it. Oh, no. And that is a lateral. That is a lateral. It will not stop the clock. Here you see the T.C. Williams team exhorting the crowd to make it difficult for Hunter. Hunter, second down and goal at 10. Looks in the end zone. And it's intercepted. Well, Tim, you can see the crowd. That kind of sums it up. That was a hard pass to throw. Eric Hunter back to pass. Has time. Throws for Hyman. Hyman's got it in full stride at the 35-yard line. He's going to score. Tony Hyman scores a 70-yard touchdown.
Well, I think Eric Hunter just showed there just what a great quarterback he is. There's no doubt that he has a rocket for an arm, and Hyman is such a great receiver.
WHCS Channel 29 presents Group AAA State Final Football, the Division VI Championship between the Hampton Crabbers and the Robinson Rams. From Todd Stadium in Newport News, this is Tim Cole, along with Bob Hintz and A.G. Womble, and we are here for the game of the year, the championship game, the chance for Hampton to redeem themselves after suffering a 10-6 loss last year to T.C. Williams. Bob, this is going to be exciting.
Oh, Tim, this is going to be a game of games. I'm really looking forward to it. I was excited, ready to come to the ball game at 10 o'clock this morning, and the fans were started piling in here about 11:30 today, so they're fired up. We've got two teams that are very similar in that they're not real big teams, and they both are fairly fast. We have one quarterback at short that rolls out the pass, another one in Eric Hunter drops back and is an excellent passer. I think Hampton has more offensive weapons that they can pull on and count on than what the Rams do, but it's going to be an excellent game, Tim, as the people can see there's snow on the field, but I don't think it's going to have a whole lot of difference in the game. If it's going to favor anybody, it'll favor Hampton in that Hampton's a little tougher team and have played in mud, as you remember they did against Bethel High School.
Of course, let's remember also that Hampton had a difficult time against Bethel. They won that game 5-3 in the final game of the regular season. In the postseason play, Hampton has demolished their three opponents. The only game that was really close was the Norview game, which Hampton won 20-7, and then they wiped out First Colonial 37-2 and handled, as you saw the highlight film just a moment ago, the Falcons of Fauquier by the score of 46-0 right here at Todd Stadium. So the question has to be today, Hampton is playing against a team that's 13-0. They are undefeated on the season. They have defeated some heavyweights. They beat the state champs.
Well, yes, they have, Tim. But I think if you look at the overall competition, Hampton plays a much tougher schedule. The Peninsula District, I think, as a whole, is much tougher than any other districts. But we have a team in the Robinson team that is coming in here undefeated, but I don't think they have met a caliber team as they're going to run into this Hampton group. I really don't.
Well, the Rams of Robinson are 13-0. The Crabbers are 11-1. Both of them are extended win streaks right now. The Crabbers 11 in a row. Robinson 13 games this season. We are ready for the big game of the year. We'll be right back with the starting lineups, but first, A.G. Womble had a chance to talk to the opposing coaches.
All right, we got Crabber coach Mike Smith. Mike, first of all, good luck out there today. fifth year in a row you've been here. Your thoughts going into this big game?
Yeah, well, the other four don't count right now. You know, this is the only one that makes any difference. And they're a good football team. Apparently they have to be good. They're 13-0, you know. They've got them ranked 13th in the country, so they're a good football team.
Mike, you got a lot of seniors, and of course your staff. That disappointing loss last year. This practice this week, was any mention of that?
Well, I don't think so, but I think it's in the back of their minds, you know. They remember that. It's hard to forget something like that, but they've been trying to focus their attention on this group right here, you know, and that's the big thing.
Mike, this field condition looks bad. Who does that favor today?
Well, I don't know if it favors anyone or not, but it's certainly not going to help our throwing game any, which, you know, we thought would be effective. But you just got to adapt to the conditions. Don't let it bother you, know, and play the best you can.
Mike, make it 7 today. Good luck to you.
We're sure going to go after it. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, we have Robinson head coach Nick Hilgert. And Nick, first of all, congratulations. Fantastic season, 13-0, ranked 13th in the nation. You have to be pleased with things so far.
We're pleased with what we've done. That was win our district and region. And 13-0 and rankings don't mean a whole lot. I think the way we've played is good enough for us. And getting this far is great.
Right. The Hampton Crabbers, they've been here before. You have to be worried about the tradition here at Hampton. What are you going to do today?
Well, I'm not worried about the tradition as much as I am the kids. You know, the kids are the ones that win the ball games. Tradition is great. And the thing we have to do is be patient. Don't get down. Don't get excited when you do something good, because, you know, they can come back and score one quick one on you. And just play good, solid football.
This field condition is not the best. Who's that going to favor today?
It favors a big team, I'm afraid, and one that throws the football. They're big, and they throw the ball real well. But we throw the ball, too, and I think it favors them. It's hard to get traction when you try to push some big people around.
Nick, congratulations again. Great game. Good luck today. Great game. Great season.
Thank you very much.
All right, Nick.
Heard a stirring rendition of our national anthem by the combined choruses of Robinson and Hampton High Schools.
That was an excellent job, Tim. That was, and I'm sure they did that because they didn't want the band to march out on that field. It's going to get a lot of work before this day is over. But that was a neat way to start off this ball game.
And this is going to be a neat game because I've been looking forward to this all year long. I know the Crabbers have. They've been looking for this chance. You know, the two teams, before we get to the starting lineups, the two teams coming into this game are high-scoring teams. Both teams have scored over 25 points a game, but Hampton has been on such a roll during the playoffs. You have to wonder, as you're watching the Robinson side of the field, the fans have been getting here early today. It's chilly. The game time temperature will be, I'm sure, in the low 30s. The wind is of no value whatsoever. It's completely calm. And the only problem today will be the field of play. As you can tell, there is snow on the field from the snow we had yesterday on Friday, the 9th of December. This is the 10th, of course, and this is the Group AAA Division VI State Championship between Hampton and Robinson. And let's get into the starting lineups for both teams while we have this opportunity.
And starting for the, excuse me, Tim, defense, that's mine, isn't it?
That's yours.
Okay. Starting for a guard for the Hampton Crabbers, Michael Draper. The other guard is Rodney Riddick. Starting at tackles is James Wilson, the all Mr. Everything there. Also starting to tackle today is Aaron Mundy for the Crabbers. At the defensive ends, Michael Slade, and the other defensive end, Kenny Robinson, who was in for Ruben Press. Linebackers today, we have a good one in Jamie Patterson, who had a great game last week in the 7-1 defense that the Crabbers played. The other linebacker is Adrian Billups. In the secondary, have a great secondary for the Crabbers. Tony Hyman is one of the cornerbacks. Leonard Lassiter is the other cornerback, and Kenny Owens is the safety for the Hampton Crabbers.
And again, you're seeing the Hampton Crabbers. We have to congratulate that defensive squad. They have played superb football all year long, allowing a total of 50 points for 12 games. Now, the offense for the Crabbers, and they ain't shabby either. Quarterback is Eric Hunter. The fullback is Dwayne Murphy. Todd Summers will be starting at the tailback. The flanker is Mr. Tony Hyman, a great two-way player for the Crabbers. Aaron Munday and Brian Gerzak are the ends. James Wilson, again, that ever-present James Wilson that Bob mentioned a minute ago, both ways, and an all-regional player in that position. Tackle, the other tackle, Rodney Riddick. The guards are Hartsfield and Suber. Anthony Alonzo Cherry is the center, and Donovan Capehart is listed as a tailback. James Bailey is the punter for the Crabbers, as well as the place kicker, I might add.
And then you see a shot of the Robinson team getting ready to come out onto the field, Tim. And as we go over, look at those, we'll go down the Rams defense. At tackle for the Rams, Shane McCullum. At one of the end spots, Jason Strand. At the other tackle, Matt McKeska. At the other defensive end is Brian Hilgert, who is the son of the coach. At linebacking for this group, they run a 4-3, Tim. Bobby Robinson is a one linebacker. J.D. Holder is the other linebacker, and the third linebacker is Jason Tenberg. At the cornerbacks is Chris Scales. At the other cornerback is Wes Bryan. At the strong safety, Sean Spear. And at the free safety is Dermani Marshall.
I'm not sure on that, Bob, but I think it's pronounced Dermia.
Dermia.
I'm not sure. That's
Could be.
There you go. There it is. James Wilson, awesome all world. I got to go along with that. Now, for the Rams on offense, their center is Johansson. That's Ken Johansson. Simon Hernandez is one guard. Scott Lohman is the other. The tackles are Matt McKeska, and Brian Free. The tight end is Stinchula. The wide receiver is Chappelle. The split end is Knox. The quarterback is Brian Torgeson. The halfback is Mike Johnson. The fullback is George Fukunica. And the place kicker and punter is George Atwood. I might want to correct myself, by the way, for the Crabbers. Bailey does not kick from the place kicking, but rather
he's a punter.
He's the punter only.
Right.
And the place kicking will be shared, I understand, once again, by Brandon Waddell, and the other one would be Gregory Dean. I think AG has some
Go ahead.
He wants to talk to some celebrities of sort here at the big game.
Yeah, we do have some celebrities here, Tim. Bob, we got some die-hard Crabber fans, and we want to get some predictions from them. Your name, please.
Calvin Keene. I'm predicting a Hampton shutout.
Shutout, all right. Who's this young man?
Anywhere.
What are you predicting?
Oh, we're going to shut him out.
How many points are we going to score?
Oh, we're going 28 to nothing.
28-0, all right. What about this young man?
28 to nothing.
All right. Well, who we have down here? What's your name?
Ernie Gary.
All right, how long you been following the Crabbers?
Several years. I went to Kickingham, but my wife brought me to Hampton. I've been here ever since.
She made a believer out of you?
She sure did. Hampton football all the way.
All right, what's the score going to be today?
It's going to be about 19 to 6.
All right, 19 to 6, and what do you think?
20 to
28-0. All right, Tim, Bob, you got a few predictions here. Mine is 28 to 3 in favor of the Crabbers.
Oh, you're going to let them have 3 points. That's
they got a good field goal kicker.
Hey, well, we got a chance. Let me run over the coaches for the Hampton Crabbers, Tim. First of all, I want to acknowledge the Lowell Thomas, who is the principal at Hampton High School, and he really helps us out. We need some help. Athletic director is Trish Mitchell. Head coach, of course, Mike Smith, has done just an excellent job at the Hampton Crabbers, assisted by Alvis Mann, Danny Mitchell, Walter Brower, Lanny Franklin, Woodrow Wilson, Simon Gupton, Kenny Gilliam, Corey Thomas. And that is a nice group.
And Steve Washington.
Oh, and Steve Washington. I'm sorry, Steve.
Steve is back on the
Yeah, we got
sidelines.
to see Steve at the sideline, and it's really great to see him. He's looking good, and he's had some health problems, but he looks like he's licked it, Tim.
And we're happy to see him back. For the Robinson Rams, they are coached by Nick Hilgert. He is assisted by Maynard Hines, Greg Hamilton, and Dan Thompson. And they are the Rams. They are the Rams, and we're going to have the meeting at the center of the field momentarily, and when we do that, we will introduce the officials to you at that time. We've got our referee mic'd for today's game. There you see the tri-captains representing the Hampton Crabbers. They are Kenny Owens, number 2, Eric Hunter, number 9, and James Wilson, number 75. For Robinson, they will be represented by Brent, I called him Brian earlier, I apologize, Brent Torgeson, who is the quarterback. And as you mentioned, Bob, he's not particularly large, but he's very quick, and I understand he runs the option extremely well.
Well, he does run the option, Tim, and they're very similar to Bethel in that the different offenses that they will use, but he will sprint out to throw the ball rather than do a drop back and sit in a pocket like Eric Hunter does.
Well, he has about 7 inches in height that he lacks.
And it's hard to see over some of those big linemen. As you said, there's a good shot of him walking out onto the field, and we'll be able to hear the mic.
Hopefully it'll be better than the reception you're getting at the moment.
Captain Torgeson, I'd like you to meet Captain Wilson, Captain Hunter, Captain Owens. This time I'd like to introduce the other officials that will be working with me this afternoon. Mr. Jim Toppings, line judge, Mr. Brown, back judge, Mr. Young, head linesman, Mr. McCain is the umpire. Again, my name is Cherry. I'm your referee assigned for this evening's contest. Gentlemen, we've had a pregame toss. In the pregame toss, it was determined that Robinson had won and had elected to receive. Hampton will kick, go on defense to kick, defending the scoreboard house down there, kicking to the flag. Is that correct? Okay, man. I'd like at this time to have you turn your backs here in just a minute. I'm going to simulate the toss again. We go with it. It's the same thing Robinson has won. If you'll place your backs over there, Hampton. You got Robinson receiving on this end. Okay. Kicking this way, Captain Hampton. Yo, man, shake hands. Good luck to you.
That was a good shot of those officials, Tim, and that's one of the best times the mic has worked. We got to hear the officials' names. Ron Cherry is the head guy out there. We'll be doing all the talking, and we got to see him on the screen.
You know, let me take a moment, because several times during this game I will want to do this, and that is to thank Wayne Begore for his efforts here to make us set up comfortably and to do all that they do, and his staff has done a great job under incredibly tough conditions getting this field in playable condition for today.
He had one guy come. I talked to Wayne earlier, and he said, one guy says, well, how come you haven't got this field cleaned off? And Tim, he says, we don't have the equipment. Well, you know, they don't expect to have snow on the field and have to clean it off. But it will be gone before this game is over, I assure you. But,
well, as I said, it's going to be cold out there, Bob, and of course the conditions are dry, and as the afternoon progresses, the field will get sloppy, and it will also be drying a bit as we go along. So it's going to be changing conditions. But, you know, one of the things that we've talked about all year is how does Hampton keep doing this? Preparation. I think that's how they get where they are, and that's probably going to be the big factor in today's ball game.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind. This Hampton Crabber team is ready, Tim.
And I am ready, and you are ready, and this game is underway. It's a kickoff taken at the 10-yard line. That is Mike Johnson. The ball comes loose, and it is covered by the Rams. They'll have it at their 27-yard line.
That was number 44, Marshall, who fell on that ball. He runs some tailback, and then he's also a defensive standout, Tim.
And talk about defensive standouts. The Crabbers have them on the field right now. They have allowed just 9 points in the playoffs, 50 points throughout the entire season. The quarterback is Torgeson as he comes up to the line for the Rams, 1st and 10 from their 27.
And they are in a split situation when they got the I backfield, and they just run a power with number 24, Tim. Mike Johnson will carry the bulk of the time.
Mike Johnson, number 24, gets the call, and they will mark the ball on the 30-yard line. Johnson coming into this game, excuse me, carried the ball 246 times for 1,480 yards on the season. Pickup of about 5, second down and 5. This is the big running back.
And you got his name, Tim.
And I'm trying to pick out his number. That is, well, that was Johnson again. I'm sorry, I thought that was 44 carrying the ball. That would be Dermia Marshall. I think it was Marshall that got the carry.
Yeah, he will come in and carry the ball sometimes at tailback, Tim.
No, that was Johnson.
That was Johnson again, and he did bust through a tackler there and pick up some extra yardage, and this is a 3rd and 2.
3rd and 2 for the Rams. And a good second effort will get the first down for Robinson. And that was Mike Johnson again, as he was stopped at the line of scrimmage, but through a superb second effort, picked up 5 yards out to the 40-yard line. So Mike Johnson has been the ball carrier for the first 3 plays of the ball game. He's picked up 13 yards. And it's first down for the Rams of Robinson High School. Here we'll see, well, we may or may not have time. Here you see he's met at the line of scrimmage, and he looks like he stopped, and then his surge forward got him 5 yards. What an excellent effort.
Well, you got some good blocking, and there's a pass situation.
And it is caught.
He caught that with one hand, Tim.
I didn't think he had it, but he did catch it just shy of midfield.
If you saw in the backfield, they were in a split backfield, which is like a pro set, and they split their backs instead of lining them up in the eye, and that's where they will pass from, and they will do a rollout. Torgerson will roll out every time he passes, and this is another set that they pass from is where they're set up right now, Tim, but it's the second and very short.
Second and short, as he was just shy of a 10-yard pickup. Torgerson on the option pitches out for Marshall, and this is Marshall getting the first down at the Hampton 47-yard line. So Dermia Marshall picks up the first down. That is the second first down of the ball game for Robinson. And now an official's timeout. I'm not sure exactly what the reason for the timeout is, but there is in fact a timeout on the field, and it was indicated as an official's timeout. This gives us an opportunity to make you aware of some of the statistics coming into the game. 13s are very prevalent in Robinson's story right now. They are 13-0. They're on a 13-game win streak, and the timeout is over with, and they are ranked 13th in the nation by USA Today. Here you see the replay of the option, as Marshall did a good job of getting around the corner and missing the tackle by Kenny Robinson. Pitch back comes again to Marshall.
Tim, they are a hard-running team. They're getting tackled and still are picking up a couple yards after they're getting hit. And we got Leonard Lassiter, number 8 for the Hampton Crabbers, is slow getting up.
And he is holding his left arm. He apparently has hurt his left arm, and he'll be replaced by Aaron Matthews of the Crabbers as he'll come out. There you see Aaron Matthews coming in for Lassiter. Pickup of 8, second down and 2, as Robinson has mounted a pretty good looking attack here. Ball is marked at the Hampton 39-yard line. And keeping the ball is Torgerson. He stuck it in the stomach of the running back and then pulled it back. Did a good job of getting the first down.
He most certainly did, Tim. They tackled both of them and concentrated on the running back, and he just took the ball right back out of his stomach and hung on to it and picked up a lot of yardage. You can see this on the replay, Tim. The Crabbers have a defense perfect. Well, that shows the end of it after he pulled the ball out and just did a spin move.
You see him dragged down at the end of that play by Kenny Owens into a quagmire of water and mud. Inside handoff, not much happening this time, as it'll be a 2-yard gain for the Rams.
Occasionally you'll see them line up in a unbalanced line, Tim, and they'll run a trap play back to the weak side, and that was a trap or counter play that time.
Crabbers appearing in their 5th consecutive state championship. They've won 2 of the 4 previous times. Last year, of course, they suffered a bitter last-moment defeat at the hands of T.C. Williams, a team that was defeated by this Robinson team 36-0 this year. So obviously T.C. Williams didn't have the same team that they had last year.
T.C. Williams, the coaching staff up there got rid of some players.
Pickup of 2. It's second down and 8. The ball marked at the 25 of Hampton. We're in the first quarter, no score, 8:24 remains. This is Marshall as he gets across the 25 to about the 23.
Tim, we've seen this all year long. We've seen a team move the ball on the Hampton Crabbers and then now get down there within inside that 30, and the Hampton Crabber defense really gets stingy. They bend, but they don't break.
Pickup of 2 more for Marshall. It brings up a 3rd down and 6 for the Rams. Watch on the replay.
This is a, you would think a passing situation, but that is not a passing formation. But it is he is going to put the ball in the air.
And it's incomplete at the 10-yard line as Torgerson rolled to his right. Had a man open, but just didn't make the connection.
And Tim, looks like they're getting ready to send their place kicker in number 9, who has got excellent range.
Well, he's kicked 2 beyond 40 yards this season.
And this will be a 41-yarder.
This would be not even as far as he's kicked one. Now the wind is slight as it is. He'll have a little bit of a wind behind him. It's 4th down. This is low. It's to the, I started to say it's to the left, but it is good. So George Atwood makes his presence known immediately with a 41-yard field goal with 7:40 remaining in the first quarter.
They moved that ball down. They moved that ball down the field with not much trouble from the Crabbers till they got down within inside the 30, Tim. But that was an excellent field goal kick, as you can see here on the replay. It didn't have a lot of height, but it was accurate and long enough.
As the man said, it looks like it was perfectly kicked through the uprights on the scoreboard. 4:20, the time elapsed, 73 yards, culminated 10 plays, 41-yard field goal by George Atwood. So we know of 2 that he had more than 40. Now he has 3 in his pocket. And he will kick off to the Crabbers as Hampton now trails for the first time in the last 2 games.
Yeah, they trailed in the Norview game. They got behind 7-0. So Hampton has been behind before, so this is not a stranger to them.
Well, you know, one of the things that I was talking with some of the coaches from Hampton is one of the things that they like, of course, is that Hampton's been here. They've been here 5 times in a row. This is Robinson's first time. And that may have a telling factor before this game is over, but Robinson was impressive on their first possession. They mixed up their plays very well, and they were only bogged down and settled for that field goal. This is Hyman at the 15. Tony Hyman finds a seam. He's out across the 35, and the ball is fumbled, and Robinson's got it.
That ball came out as he was hit there at the 40-yard line, Tim, and Robinson came up with a fumble. We saw a fumble on the run back on the Robinson run the ball back, but they recovered their own fumble.
We're going to get a chance to see this again.
And there was a seam there, Tim. I thought he was going to be able to break it.
Let's see if he gets hit. It's stripped from his arm, so it was a good job by the Ram defender to just strip the ball out of his grasp. He really wasn't doing that badly, but it was just a matter of tacking the football. And Robinson's got it right back, leading 3-0. Torgerson still has the football. Spins away and now gets across the 35 to about the 32.
And Tim, he was hit in the backfield and still got away. He is an impressive runner at quarterback.
Torgerson didn't pass a lot this season. He passed less than 10 times each game, but he did complete 53 times for 758 yards and 5 TDs. The one statistic I was unable to get was his number of rushing yardage. Picked up about 6. It's 2nd down and 4 for the Rams, and they are leading 3-0 early in the first quarter, halfway through. Hampton versus Robinson for the AAA State Championship Division 6. Torgerson right up the middle. This is number 22, Kunica. I'm going to have a hard time with that name all day.
Well, he's blocking back for the most part, but they have found some weaknesses in that Hampton defense. Maybe some of the people are doing their assignments that they should be doing right now for the Crabbers, Tim. But
well, you know, I looked down there a little while ago, Bob, and I did not see Mohamed Carlos. in that defensive alignment, nor did I see Jefferson Lawrence. So the Crabbers have a little bit different of a defensive alignment out there this afternoon. First down. Handoff, not much happening as Fucanaga got it again, and he was tackled by 3 or 4 Hampton Crabbers. Among them was Kenny Robbins, number 60, and James Wilson, number 75.
Well, you'll see James Wilson around that ball for the most part, Tim.
Jamie Patterson was in there.
I have to agree with you. I don't see either one of those 2 men out there on that defensive unit. So that may be why they've got some people out there playing. Looks like Riddick and Mundy out there both have played, but have not been starters on the defense.
Torgerson keeps, tries to bring it inside, and he is met hard by number 64 for the Crabbers, and that is Jamie Patterson.
And Jamie had an excellent defensive game last week, Tim, because they went to a 7-1, which freed him up to do some things that they hadn't done before, and he consequently had an excellent game. Well, this brings up a passing situation.
And on this passing situation, Robinson will come out, and Todd Summers goes in on defense for the Crabbers. Here's the replay. There you saw him as he tried to turn it up. Patterson was waiting for him. 3rd down and 8 at the 23 of Hampton. Torgerson wants to pass, throws it behind the man, it's intercepted. Michael Slade picks it up for the Crabbers.
Oh, excellent job. Michael Slade was right where he's supposed to. That's a defensive end, and that's his responsibility, Tim. And we've seen all year long when the Hampton Crabbers get a turnover, you can watch out for some fireworks.
In the last 3 playoff games coming into this game, Hampton has committed 3 turnovers, and they have taken 17. A plus 14 for the Hampton Crabbers in the 3 playoff games. There you see Michael Slade juggle the ball momentarily, but got it under control and then did a good job of taking it back to the 27. First down for the Crabbers. This is Dwayne Murphy carrying the ball for the Crabbers.
And they will see what this Ram defense will do, Tim. They'll run a 4-3 defensive alignment. They'll put 4 men on the line of scrimmage. They'll put 3 linebackers, and a lot of times they will just fire one of their linebackers. Usually it's Jason Tenberg will shoot the gaps or something. Hampton's going to spread them out a little bit.
Hyman at the bottom of your screen. Hunter fakes and will throw. Has plenty of time. Throws for Monday down the sidelines. And it's incomplete at the 25-yard line. Aaron Monday on the pattern.
He was open, Tim. He was wide open, and he had to turn around to get the ball. It gave the defender a chance to get back there and strip that ball away. But that was an excellent pass by Eric Hunter. He had plenty of time, Tim.
Wes Bryan was the defender for the Rams. We'll watch his replay.
And you can see all the time he's got, no pressure.
Brings up a 3rd down for the Crabbers. 3rd down and 7 at their 30-yard line. Hyman sets to the left. And Gerzak at the bottom of your screen. This is Todd Summers. He's grabbed by the face mask, and there are flags all over the place. That fumble is not of any concern because the penalty will be assessed against Robinson. No question about that call. So everybody in the stands saw that one.
Oh, that was an obvious call, Tim. And we'll hear.
That was his initial indication. We'll hear him say it in a moment, but that is our referee, Ron Cherry, for this afternoon's game. He's discussing the options. There really aren't any options here. Hampton coughed the ball up, and needless to say, they'll take the penalty. Crabbers in the playoffs have averaged 34.3 points per game.
How come they marked the ball back? I don't understand. They marked the ball back from where it ended up, Tim.
Well, I think they marked it from the point of the infraction.
No, he marked the ball up from the 25.
Nice pass. Defense. First down.
But regardless, they've marked the ball out at the 40-yard line, and Hampton has a first down. Their first down is their first down of the ball game.
Well, that was just their 3rd play offensively, Tim.
At the 40. Hunter gives left side for Todd Summers. Summers out close to the midfield stripe.
And he is really running good. The coaches said Todd Summers has really been running excellent these last 3 games, Tim. We know we saw him in the first game against tab. He did real well, and then he got a leg hurt and then an ankle hurt, but boy, he is really running hard now.
Summers has 2 touchdowns here in the playoffs. 9-yard pickup for Todd. That's Summers with an S, as he emphatically reminded us last week. Eric Hunter will keep on the quarterback keeper, and he's got a first down at the Robinson 47-yard line. Mr. Hunter has had just a so-so postseason for the Crabbers. He's only run for 3 touchdowns, passed for 6 touchdowns, and caught one of them his own.
Oh, you said so-so.
Just a so-so, yeah. He's been involved in 10 touchdowns in 3 games.
Well, a lot of people would like to have that for a whole season, Tim.
Wouldn't they? That would be a career for some people. First down for the Crabbers. They're in Robinson territory at the 47. Hunter gives to Summers, and Summers will get to the 45. Little discussion between some of the Rams and the Crabbers. Crabbers are a little bit larger than Robinson, unlike last week when they played Fauquier. Fauquier was a much larger team than the Crabbers. And, of course, the Crabbers walked away with a 46-0 victory.
Well, in this kind of a field with this mushiness that they were playing on right now would have been a great help for the Fauquier team.
Each team has committed 1 turnover. They've marked it just shy of the 45. Second down and 8 for Hampton. Hunter wants to pass. He's got Hyman on the outside, and he'll be laid down hard at the 45. Excuse me, the 40-yard line. Hyman, they know Hyman. Hyman has had a lot of press in the last week or two because of his superb efforts. Hyman has just 4 touchdown passes caught here in the playoffs. I say these just because I'm being sarcastic. The Crabber offense has been just incredible, and Hyman, Summers, and Hunter, along with Murphy, have just been the big reason. Of course, Aaron Mundy's got a couple of TD passes. Here you go. This is Hyman as he is stood up, and then watches he is leveled. And he was leveled big time by number 80, and that would be Jason Strahan. Not much happening here as the defense for Robinson stops the Crabbers short of the first down. They'll be about 1.5 yards shy.
They defended that dive play excellent, Tim. And now we come up to the question whether the Crabbers are going to punt or they're going to go for it. And we may see one of these situations where, you know, the Crabbers do the uneven cadence count and try to draw the other team offside. All they have to do is get them into the neutral zone.
Donovan Capehart checks in the ball games for Todd Summers. Capehart, who was a starter for the better part of this season and was injured about 3 games ago, is working his way back into the lineup. And we see movement, and it worked.
That's exactly what that was. Mike Smith has done that. This year has not worked, but it works in a game where there's a lot of where the bragging rights for the state championship are on the line, and that's called excellent coaching. Well, one of the few times I have been right, Tim.
We saw them use that against T.C. Williams last year in the state championship game. Of course, it ended up for naught. You watch the replay of this now. What you're going to see is Eric Hunter will set up the line, and we can't hear him, but he'll be yelling the cadence irregularly. There you see the right tackle, much to the dismay of his teammate. He moved into that neutral zone. First down for the Crabbers. Summers with more than enough down to the 25-yard line, close to another first down. Todd Summers picking up where he has left off here in the playoffs. He's been playing great football all year long.
All he needs is a little seam, Tim, and he gets through, and that's the end of the first quarter.
I don't say the third quarter. This thing is so much fun, I don't want it to end. 1 quarter of play by the boards, and the Crabbers on the short end of a 3-0 score. A 41-yard field goal is the difference so far in this ball game. And A.G. Womble, I understand you've got John Mitchell down on the sidelines.
We got John Mitchell, and John was with the Crabbers when they practiced this week. What was the preparation like this week, John?
The intensity level and the mental level of our practice this week was beyond anything I've seen since I've been here for the past 4 years. They really keyed up for this game, especially because of the 14-point underdog selection we got by the Washington Post.
What was Coach Smith, what kind of game plan was he trying to put together?
I really just was on the sideline. I really didn't get in there. And, you know, I just went to see my friends, and I was just talking to them. They were really fired up.
We're down 3-0, but your thoughts on the rest of the game is what do you think is going to happen?
The way we've been moving the ball right now, I can predict the success coming on.
great year here, John Mitchell. John Mitchell.
AG, your prediction of 28-3 has a possibility here.
Yeah, I'm sticking with that.
Well, they've got their 3. Let's see if Hampton can get their 28.
I don't think there is a team that can shut out the Hampton Crabbers in the high school ranks.
Second down and a yard to go, just shy of the 25. Second quarter just about set to get underway. Hunter has Murphy and Capehart. This is Capehart getting the first down. Capehart is stopped shy of the 21-yard line, but it'll be more than enough for the first down as Capehart picks up 4.
Tim, I'm watching the both lines out there, and the Robinson team has just been like the other teams that the Hampton Crabbers have been playing. They'll make a tackle or something, and they'll jump up and they'll throw their arms, and they try to get all this energy going like that. And the Hampton Crabbers, they just go out, boom, they block, boom, run the ball. They do what they've got to do, as you can see on the replay, and they pick up the first down. They just got a job to go out and do the job, and they do it well.
Again, Todd Summers, big hole, down to the 15. So the Crabbers are moving the football now. That is Summers' 5th carry of the ball game for 29 yards, and the other 3 carries have all netted 3 yards each for Hunter, Murphy, and Capehart.
And we see Hampton bringing in number 40, Tim, and that's
Capehart.
Capehart, a young man who injured an ankle and didn't get to play much in the first Colonial, didn't play at all in the first Colonial game.
Second down and 3. This is Hunter, and a flag goes down. Hunter has the first down, but let's
Tim,
see.
he is inside. He was hit back at the 12, and they finally tackled him down at the 7. And I think it's a face mask or something against Robinson. It is another face mask.
So Big Eric Hunter drags a couple of would-be tacklers. Watch the replay. This is him going right off the left guard position.
And right
and
there,
you see
number 90.
Yep, he's got a death hold on his face mask. That's Robert Fink. And that will cost Robinson. So now the ball is marked inside the 5 at the 4-yard line.
On the defense. First down.
There's our referee, Ron Cherry, telling you the story. It's first and goal at the 4. We've got 10:49 remaining here in the first half. Tim Cole, Bob Hinson, A.G. Womble, and the crew. Hope you're enjoying this one. This is the game for all the marbles. Hampton's here 5 consecutive times. They've won it 13 times, including 2 times that they shared it with the Bethel Bruins. First and goal at the 4-yard line. Hunter gives to Summers. Summers is down to the 3, pickup of a yard.
There was a hole there, Tim, but it closed up real quick. And number 32, the linebacker, Jason Tenberg, come in and plug that hole up, and that's his assignment. Had he not gotten there, Mr. Summers would have walked right into the end zone.
Pickup of a yard for Todd Summers. It's second down and goal at the 3. Crabbers have averaged 34 points a game in the playoffs while allowing just 3. They've given up their 3 so far. At the 3-yard line. This is Summers, left side, right side, another touchdown.
There's a touchdown, Tim. The blocking assignment worked on that side. They pinned that defender, that linebacker, and then I told you Summers just walked into the end zone.
With 9:42 left in the first half, Todd Summers has capped a turnover drive, as we have
and
seen
they've done it
time
all year
after
long,
time.
and we've got Gregory Dean in to attempt the point after, Tim. And it's really a wet spot right in front of that ball. Just keeps his head down and follows through.
He gets a good snap, he gets it up, and it is good.
And the key is just do your job, and that's what the Crabbers do.
So Todd Summers takes the last 3 yards up. 6:52 is the time that they used.
Watch over on the right-hand side, Tim, of the blocking, and they seal and kick out that linebacker right there.
Look at Dwayne Murphy.
Murphy did a good job in kicking out that linebacker, number 50, Bobby Robinson, and opened up that hold. Excellent job.
James Wilson was the man he followed in. So,
yes,
again, the credit where it's due. 6:52, the time elapsed. Joe Lewis, good job on the replay, guys. 53 yards, 15 plays. And the Crabbers on top 7-3.
Don't turn the ball over to the Crabbers, and you do, you're going to give up some points.
Well, they've been awesome in the playoffs, Bob. The Crabbers have averaged 333 yards per game total offense in the 3 games during the playoffs. 206 yards on the ground and 127 in the air. Hyman has 4 touchdown passes. Summers has a couple of TD runs. Hunter, as I said, has been involved in 10 scores of his own, not including the passes. I tell you, he's something. 9:42 left in half. Hampton on top, 7-3. And the kick is a low bouncing kick taken by one of the up men at the 23-yard line. This is Jeff Chappelle.
And that was Leonard Lassiter, number 8, Tim, one of the defending cornerbacks for the Crabbers. Just let him keep running sideways laterally. He picked up no yardage. And that's what you want to do, make him run east and west instead of north and south.
You know, I was talking with some people down on the sidelines before we came on the air, and one of the things they were saying was the Crabbers were angry about this 14-point underdog role. Now, you know, the last thing you want to do is get the Crabbers angry.
Oh, I tell you.
Torgerson gives off up the middle, not much happening, maybe a yard and a half at most.
Well, Tim, one thing that you're going to see, the Crabber offense came through and scored after the defense got the turnover, and that'll fire your defense up. And they'll go out there and they'll play a little tighter. They have a chance to talk with the coaches on the sideline to make some little minor adjustments. And they will. It's going to be a little harder for this team to run the ball now. And you can see there on that instant replay.
35-yard line, pickup of 2. This is Johnson trying to get outside. He gets away from Lassiter and then is driven out of bounds at the 42-yard line.
Well, see, that play was plugged up where it was intended to go, and he did a good job of bouncing outside and picking up some yardage. But the play was designed to go off tackle, and there was no place for him to go.
It'll bring up a 3rd down for Robinson. 3rd down and 2, and they'll mark it at the 41-yard line. And that was number 24, Mike Johnson, carrying on that last carry. Johnson had a touchdown that he scored last week against Mills Godwin. On way to a 21-10 victory. Looked like motion in the backfield. No flags are down, however. Now a flag comes down. And it looks like it'll be close to a 1st down, but we'll have to wait and see who's the penalty going to be called on. Mike Johnson again getting the call for the Rams.
I don't know if it'll be a holding penalty or against the Crabbers. It's a face mask against the Crabbers this time, Tim.
So we've seen 3 face mask penalties called in this game. And that'll give Robinson a 1st down. The Rams will get the 1st down as a result of the penalty.
And this is just a trap. They're trying to trap James Wilson, and James does a good job of fighting off the trap. And I could not see who did the face mask. I could not see a face mask.
Face mask against the defense.
Ron Cherry gives you the call. It is 1st down for the Rams. Robinson riding a 13-game winning streak, and they're ranked 13th in the country. They're at the Hampton 42-yard line. Trailing 7-3. Torgerson still has the football.
He doesn't have it anymore, Tim. It looks like maybe the Crabbers came up with another turnover. I'd like to see who come up with that ball. It's either James Wilson or number 63 for the Crabbers, and that's
Michael Draper.
Draper.
They were the last 2 up, and they were the ones coming off the field. So another turnover, and you might expect that this is going to happen because
maybe we can see this on instant replay right there. He gets away from a man, and boom, right there, number will look like 44 for the Crabbers, Tim.
That was Derek Smith who did the job.
Boy, just really lowered the boom.
He is in place of Jefferson Lawrence this afternoon. Hunter fakes, wants to throw. He's got Hyman on the fly pattern. The ball is underthrown, and it's going to be picked off. And now the ball comes loose, but they'll say it belongs to Robinson. So that ball hung up in the air and gave the defender, who is number 40, and that is Wes Bryan, good job to get back.
Well, it did, Tim. Had Barry just threw the ball with a little too much height on it because it did hang up. Had he lofted the ball and got it a little further down, Tony had his man beat. That was not a bad call. That's an excellent call in that situation. You just got to turn over, and you could very well catch them with their pants down. But they came up with an interception, but they're on their 5-yard line, so that makes it a little tougher for them.
On an earlier play, Hampton had Brian covering Hyman, and Brian did a good job. So that's going to be a matchup we'll watch this afternoon. Now on the turnover, Robinson from their 5. Gets some running room out to the 10. Carrying the ball again, Mike Johnson, number 24 for the Rams. So the turnovers are even at 2 apiece. Slade has intercepted for Hampton and Hyman has fumbled, while Brian has intercepted for Robinson, and we'll give credit to James Wilson for the fumble recovery moments ago. Watch the replay here. You'll see Johnson. Well, you won't see Johnson, I understand. Our director says, forget it. We'll talk about some beef out there in a minute. Look at the right guard. Stacked up, Johnson now will reverse his field. Mike Slade has a beat on him, and several other Crabbers, along with Leonard Lassiter, drive Johnson back behind the line of scrimmage.
Tim, what a defensive pursuit that time. The hole was really plugged up. The defenders did an excellent job on the left-hand side of the Crabber defense. He bounced out of there, turned around, and tried to run around the end, and he ran into some Crabbers that were ready. And here's a replay of that. See, he bounces around and tries to get back outside, and he's no way is he going to get away from, who is that, Draper? And then number 8, Lassiter, comes up and finishes him off.
Watch for the right guard for Robinson. He's 6'5", 330 pounds. This guy plays 2 positions at the same time.
Well, I tell you, he's going to need to. This is a real situation here.
5:50, nothing happening there.
And 5:50
to go in the half.
And this is the difference, Tim, between the Crabbers and everybody they faced all year long. Crabbers can turn the ball over but give up no points. We saw the Crabbers take an interception and march from their own 5-yard line all the way down and score. This team had a chance to do it, could not do it.
4th down and 4 for Robinson. Watch the replay. You see Torgerson as he tried to do some faking, but it wasn't fooling the middle of that Hampton defensive line. It looks like Hampton's going to try and block the punt. They fake it, and now they'll set up for the return. It's a good punt. Atwood averages 40 yards a kick. Hyman at midfield, and that's all he'll get. Hyman on a good job by the specialty team from Robinson. Hyman stopped dead in his tracks.
Well, he got the ball at the 49, it looks like, Tim, but that's excellent field position for the Crabbers.
And that punt was from the end zone, so it was a 51-yard punt from the end zone. And, of course, the line of scrimmage was the 10, so give him 41. He's right on his average.
And that's about where the Crabbers had the ball off after they got that last turnover.
You're right. Here's the ball in the air, and you'll see Hyman on the receiving end of it. And then he had nowhere to go. Good job, guys. Ooh, that looked like a little late hit there. Cross midfield now, picking up a couple of yards out to the Robinson 49. This is Dwayne Murphy.
Now we see Brian Capehart and Todd Summers are doing the shuffling in of the plays today as Donovan Capehart came in, and he is at tailback right now, Tim.
2 yards for Summers on that last play. 2nd down and 8. Hunter on the delay, gives to Capehart, and he is tripped up before he could get going. So he'll pick up maybe a yard at the most.
Tim, there was a hole there, but somebody got a hand on his foot, and he lost his footing and stumbled forward to pick up about a yard. But he'd have picked up more than enough for the first down. We do have a passage situation. We see on the replay, it is a draw play. And here's the ball, and right there is where he gets tripped up.
Good defensive job.
It really was, because there was a big hole right up the center.
So a yard on the play, 3rd down and 7 for the Crabbers. At the 48 of Robinson. Looking for Monday over the middle. He's got it at the 35. He's still on his feet. He gets away from one man.
Tim, he's going to score.
He'll score.
What an excellent call and pass and run. Aaron Mundy did a good job of breaking down. He was double covered, Tim. He broke across the middle, caught the ball, and then did a spin move to get away from the defender, and there was no way that they were going to stop him. And I heard the coach for the Rams say, Tim, that when we get behind, we got the other team where we want them. Well, let me tell you something. You don't let the Hampton Crabbers get ahead of you. And we got Gregory Dean in to attempt the extra point.
The kick is long enough, and the kick is good enough.
And that's what their kickers have been maligned all year long for not being real accurate. But I tell you what, they are really prepared for this game, Tim.
All right, so the Crabbers again take yet another turnover. Actually,
well, that
in a
wasn't
sense,
a turnover,
it was
Tim.
a punt, but it was.
Let's watch the replay. Here you see Eric go back and drop, got excellent protection. I wish you could have saw the move that Aaron Mundy put on them to get open. He was wide open, and you see there's two people hit him, and he spins. If we get that guy's head out of the way, and we got somebody's head out of the way, and then he just outruns everybody, and in no way they're going to catch him.
Big Aaron Munday rambles in 48 yards as the 6'6" Aaron Munday caps a three-play drive. 1:41 was the time, 51 yards, two runs, one of two, one of one, and then cap it with 48 yards.
Well, Tim, he is just a junior, and Mike Smith told me last year as a sophomore, this could be one of the best athletes that came through Hampton High School.
That's a mouthful.
And that is a mouthful. He's not only a good athlete, he is an excellent student also, and a tremendous basketball player.
And Aaron Munday now has recorded his third touchdown of the playoffs. This one a 48-yarder, and credit the 7th TD pass for Mr. Hunter.
Tim, when was the last time you got to see a stadium at Todd Field this full?
The ball fielded at the 18-yard line, tight roping along the sidelines and then stepping out of bounds. But good field position out at the 37-yard line.
That was a mistake. They should not have gotten to run up that sideline. You want to make them run back to the center of the field where you've got pursuers coming and not up the center. He picked up about 10 yards because somebody didn't do the job.
3:17 left in the first half. Hampton on top 14-3. As the big red machine is rolling on defense now. And Rodney Riddick checks back out as someone else is in for him. I will pick up who that was in a moment.
The one with the clean jersey, Tim.
Torgerson gives to Johnson. Johnson out to the 43.
That's number 77 in there, and that's Dwayne Thompson. Tim, he's 210. He's 5'10". He's just a sophomore, and he had a clean jersey on a minute ago.
That is the 10th carry in the ball game for Johnson. He had 246 carries on the season. That one was 6 yards, and he's got 34 yards here in the first half. Those stats compliments of Jerry the Z Zomplis, our man on the scene here at Todd Stadium. 240 remaining. This is Johnson slowed down and then piled upon at the 45-yard line.
Tim, I have to say something about those runners for this Robertson team. They get hit, but they don't go down. They just keep their legs moving and twisting and pick up an extra yard or two.
That's how you get to be 13-0. Good point. They are not people who stop. And you know, how many times do you see that? The good runners are the ones that keep those knees moving.
That's true. Well, one thing about this Robertson team is their defense was suspect at the beginning of the year, but they thought they had a tremendous offensive team. Defense came on towards the end of the season, but boy, this is going to be a close call. I'm going to call on your eagle eye here, Tim. This is sport. Were they going to mark it, their left foot or right foot? But that is awful close.
It's going to be about an inch short.
Tim, if they go by the lines, the chain is, oh yeah, that's got to be at least, yes, I agree with you. And Sam still says 2 inches.
Well, let's get down and nitpick here.
But they got to, if these lines are accurate, they are a few inches short.
That was my favorite name in the game, Fukunica, who was carrying the ball, and he will be about 2 inches short.
Oh, look at that.
Now, Dr. Sam was right there. I forgot to allow for the distance here.
Oh, the windage.
The windage, that's what it was.
Well, actually, it was the shadows, Tim. Well, 4th down, and looks like to me that they're going to go for it.
That, I think, would be a mistake, but I'm not a coach, and he is. Needless to say, they've gotten where they are because they have good coaching, so that tells you something about
Well, I want to see, you see the Hampton has really got their big people in there.
Well, what if they don't get it? Hampton's got a lot of time. Are they going to try a irregular cadence count? Let's see what happens. It's stacked up. I don't know whether he got it or not.
He did not get that at all. What an offensive, what a defensive surge by that Hampton Crabber defense.
Officials timeout as they will again bring the chains across.
Tim, they did not get it.
It doesn't appear that they did. And to finish my thought, Bob, was if you don't get it, Hampton's got a ball on your 46-yard line with a minute and a half to go with Hunter's arm. You're looking at 3 touchdowns.
That's right.
Let's see, though. We might be premature in all of this because
no, Tim. They held him. That was an excellent defensive surge. If we could get the replay on that, I don't know if Joe Lewis has got it or not, but you can look at this thing, Tim. Watch the red side here go forward and push back that offensive line, and that's the key.
That was Torgeson, the quarterback, who kept on the keeper, and he did not get the first down. So now a minute and a half remaining here in the first half. And now there's going to be a timeout, an official's timeout.
No, it's a charge against the Rams, Tim.
Okay.
They had to call a time. They've got to get this self squared away. That was a big, big play defensively for the Crabbers because, like you said, it gives them such excellent field position. But on top of that, with Herrick Hunter's arm, you're talking one play and we can have another touchdown.
Well, the last one was 48. We've got a timeout, 1:29 remaining in the half. We'll return with more AAA championship football from Todd Stadium, but first, a timeout.
As we were out, Tim, that time Mike Smith was out talking to his team as we're getting ready to finish up this first half of play.
You know, your point well taken, Bob, that the surge from the defensive line of Hampton was the difference there. And you got to remember, this is a muddy field. I just can't believe that they took a light running back, a quarterback, who's 5'10", 165 pounds, and tried to get short yardage in their own end of the field against Hampton. That's a gutsy call by Hilgert.
It really was, Tim, because you're in Hampton's end of the field, plus you're going against a quarterback who can throw the ball 50 yards and put it right on the money.
Of course, this time Todd Summers carries for about 2.
Well, Tim, that was a draw play, which was a good call in this situation because they figured Hampton's going to put the ball in the air, and they were. And now we got another timeout. Hampton's called a timeout.
And Mike Smith is livid about something. He is going there. You see him. He yanked his hat off as to say, "Boy, I'm angry. I didn't want to waste that timeout." And he's giving somebody a little lesson on what he wanted. And you know, this goes back to his coaching technique. These young men respect Mike Smith and his coaching staff, and they listen to him, and that's what makes them winners because they know he runs the show, and that's the way the ball game is played. We've seen him in key defensive situations go out and physically place the players where he wanted them on a key 4th down or a situation like that.
Well, Tim, not only that, and we've seen this in the paper all the time, but I have talked about this all year long, is how prepared this Hampton team is. If I was going into battle, I would want Mike Smith to be my field general because I know he's going to have the troops prepared to do what they got to do to win. And that's what he does with this Hampton Crabber team. And I'm not just saying, I say Mike Smith because he makes the final decision, but he's got a tremendous coaching staff.
You know who that is? That's Mike Houston.
Oh, well, Mike Houston
the kicker from last year, ever so successful for the Crabbers. You know, it reminds me of a quote we heard that Robinson made last week when they were behind at halftime. Robinson has the Crabbers right where they want them. Jerry the Z reminded me of that quote. Hunter back to pass, fakes short, looks long, had Gerzak open for a minute. Now he'll scramble, looking for a block. Wilson wisely stays off the block, and then Hunter goes out of bounds and over the bench. My gracious. And Hunter bounces right back up just like it was nothing.
He picked up the first down and stopped the clock at the same time. I mean, he went out of bounds. The clock would have stopped on the first down anyway, but now it's will not be started again after they move the markers.
And I understand the track coach just signed up Hunter for the high jump.
Here's a replay. And Tim, this is the first time they get any pressure, and you got to give the credit to the secondary because they had the Crabbers covered. And you can see that he takes a shot, and then he goes right over the bench.
Ouch. Gracious man, it popped right back up just like it was nothing.
All right, Tim, Bob.
Yeah.
Talked with Mike Husted down here the last couple of weeks. He's had the opportunity to work with Gregory Dean a little bit, and I think there's been a little improvement in the kicking game.
We sure want to take our hats off to Mike, because Gregory Dean is doing an excellent job. You tell Mike that we're sure going to keep our eye on what he does up the UVA.
32-yard line, first down. Monday is wide open and has got the ball. He's out of bounds, but not before he got to the 14-yard line.
And Tim, he was wide open. If we can see that in replay, I don't know if we can pick up how he got open or not, but you're right, he was wide open.
You know, the big difference on a field like this is this is so logical, it's almost overstatement, but the offensive player knows where he's going, and he can twist the feet around on these defenders in this sloppy condition. You won't see how Monday got open, but you'll see him open and leaping catch at the 17-yard line and then knocked out of bounds. First down for the Crabbers at the Robinson 15. Hunter over center. On the draw play, Capehart inside the 10, down to the 5. He's still on his feet. He's down, score!
Damn, that is Brian Capehart does more for this team when he gets the ball, and that's what I tell you. You can't key on one ball player for Hampton. You got to watch out for Capehart. You got to watch out for Summers. You got to watch out for Murphy. You got to watch out for Hunter. You got to watch out for Mundy. You got to watch out for Gerzak. You got to watch out for Hyman. I mean, that is excellent run. Look at this.
Look at the hole that Capehart had. And
but
then the
now
rest
he
of
gets
it,
hit.
He does all of this on his own, though.
3 more times he gets hit, and he carries people into the end zone, Tim.
Great coverage once again. Our camera people are second to none. They are doing a super job. Joe Lewis on the replay, Scotty Bowers on the director's chair. These
Jerome Young and Sam Still Jr. and Angela Brown, they all do an excellent job. We're very fortunate in having a great crew. There you go, Tim.
What did he say? Bev does a great job.
Penn does an awesome job down there. All these things that you see up on, when they throw the names up there and the down markage and all, that's my sweetheart down there in the truck.
54 seconds. I hate to say I was right, but I said it. I said I can't believe they're going to do this with Hampton's defense like it is.
And Tim, that's a turnover.
Oh,
when
sure
you stop them like that on a 4th and go, that is a turnover. And who capitalizes? The Crabbers will every time.
Donovan Capehart scores 4 plays, 54 yards, 54 seconds. They still have 35 seconds left on the clock. And AG, I understand, is 7 points away from his prediction of 28-3.
Yeah, AG, I've got some knowledge on some horse races. I might want to talk to you.
So Summers, Monday, and Capehart have scored for the Crabbers. They trailed by 3 after the first period, and then ever since then it's been all Hampton. The second quarter has been their ball game. And now they lead 21-3 with 35 seconds left to go at halftime. "54 seconds is all it took to go 46 yards. Excuse me, 54 yards. No, 46, right the first time, 46. This is Mike Johnson, and he'll be stacked up at the 35.
And Tim, I don't know about this Robinson team, but I'd want to get out of here, get in the locker room and try to make some adjustments and not try to do anything fancy, because if you turn the ball over here, you're liable to give up another 7 points.
The wind has picked up here at Todd Stadium now. It is blowing with the direction that the Robinson team is going. Watch Mike Johnson as he returns this kick.
I tell you what, Joe Lewis does an excellent job on that instant replay slow motion, Tim.
35-yard line. Torgerson mixed up in the backfield. Nothing happening as he is hit by none other than Aaron Monday, who's one of those excellent two-way players for the Crabbers. They have a lot of them.
That's going to be it for the first half.
And that is all of the first half. It has been a game of quarters. Hampton shut out 3-0 in the first quarter, and then they returned the favor by shutting out Robinson 21 points to nothing in the second quarter. We're at halftime at Todd Stadium. Our score at halftime is Hampton 21, Robinson 3. We'll return with second half action and first half statistics, but first let's take a brief timeout. Back at Todd Stadium, you see the Hampton Crabbers returning to the field. AG, I understand you have someone to talk with down there.
Yeah, we got Coach Bill D of Phoebus, and Coach, your observations on the first half.
Well, Hampton has just played an outstanding first half. They've capitalized on all of Robinson's mistakes. Robinson's made face mask penalty here, and right before the half, they went for the first down, didn't make it, and Hampton's just capitalized on every mistake.
Bill, seems like the toughest football in the state of Virginia is right here in the Peninsula District. Your thoughts on that?
I think the Peninsula District plays the best brand of football in the state of Virginia, and I think Robinson's ranked very high in the national rankings, but I think today is an indication how strong the Peninsula football is.
You Coach Smith, you're up 21-3. What would you tell your young men?
Well, I just tell them to keep executing and playing, the type of football they're playing right now, and don't make any mistakes and keep the pressure on Robinson.
What's Phoebus going to do next year?
Well, we'll be back. We're a little disappointed in the way losing the first round of playoffs. I think that'll motivate us for next year. We're gonna work hard.
You're doing a great job out there, Bill. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Bill D. Thank you.
All right, AG, thank you. And Robinson now is returning. As you can see them at the top of your screen, they're returning to the field of play. And understand you have one of our old buddies, Pat Patrick, down there.
Yeah, and I wonder why Pat Patrick's got on an orange hat instead of a red hat.
Why do you have an orange hat instead of a red hat?
I couldn't find one. The best thing I could find in my trunk.
Tim Bob, now Pat himself is no stranger to state championships. We're going to have another one here today for Hampton?
I think so. I think they scored right there before the half. And 21-3 on this field, this weather conditions, I don't think Robinson can pass the ball, so I think Hampton's got an excellent chance to come through with another state championship.
As chairman of the school board, you have to be especially proud today.
Oh, this is great. This is great. We love this. It really pumps up the whole system, and not just Hampton, but the whole system really gets behind them.
A lot of school board members I saw up there in the stands today.
Yeah, I've seen 4 of them up there, and the others may be here, but bundled up somewhere close by.
All right, Pat, y'all doing a great job. Good luck today.
Thank you.
I wanted to find out.
Patrick, hold it.
Hey, AG, ask Pat the feelings of the broadcast and how it's going out to the Hampton community and all.
Tim and Bob want your feelings on the job they're doing.
Oh, they're fantastic. They're the best. I think they're the Pat Sumrall, and one of them's Tom Brookshire. We want to bring him back.
All right, there you go, Pat Patrick. Thank you.
That's not what I asked.
That's
but
sure it was.
Okay.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing Pat Patrick in the basketball season.
Oh, we will that.
And with that reference to basketball, we will be doing basketball games on a regular basis. We got some halftime statistics before we get started here. Let's run down and see how these teams did in the first half. Hampton leading 21-3 at halftime. They trailed on a 41-yard field goal from George Atwood of Robinson, and then that was the last time they trailed, as you saw them reel off 3 touchdowns in the second quarter. First downs in the first half, Robinson had 4, and the Hampton Crabbers had 9. There you see some of the goodies that have been passed out here at the stands. AG almost caught me with a mouthful of some of that pizza too. We've got to get Jerry to get us a couple more pieces before they're all gone. 80 yards rushing for the Crabbers, 78 for Robinson. Very close in that department. But then the passing yardage, 71 for the Crabbers and only 9 yards for Robinson. Total of 151 yards at halftime for the Crabbers, 87 for the Rams. Pass completions 3 out of 5 for the Crabbers, 1 of 3 for Robinson. Interceptions, 1 each for the teams. Third down conversions, Hampton 1 out of 2, and Robinson only 1 of 6. Penalties, only 1 against Hampton for 15 yards, 3 for Robinson. My gracious.
Tim.
Yes, AG.
Report from the halftime talk. I think Coach Smith indicated to the players that Robinson has been down 7 times this year at halftime.
And of course they're 13-0, so without a whole lot of figuring out, they are a come-from-behind team. So that is a very good point, AG, and I'm sure Mike Smith made that point to his team. There you see the time of possession almost identical. Crabbers having it just 30 seconds longer than the. So we're going to have a chance to See, this is what it's like, folks. This is hard work. You know, we're having a tough time. We're told that the instant replay man just quit. He said he's going up to the press box and take advantage of some of this. So there was the Dr. Sam Stills, our producer.
We want to thank the stadium crew, because that's where this is coming from.
It came out of their pocket?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know who's giving it, but I want to, Wayne McGowan and his crew doing an excellent job, Tim.
Now, they have all year. They've made Todd Stadium a home away from home for the Crabbers, of course. The Hampton schools without a place to play of their own, in the sense that Darling Stadium is being renovated. I understand last week the renovation continued with the complete demolishing of the old Darling Stadium.
There is nothing there, Tim.
So there's a big hole in the ground where Darling used to be, and hopefully the time frame has some question to it, but there's a chance that before the season is over with next year, that there will be some games played at the new and all-new improved Darling Stadium. So we're looking forward to that.
From what I understand, Tim, most of the home games for the Hampton Crabbers or for the Hampton schools will be played at
HU?
At Hampton University Armstrong Field, yes.
And that certainly is a wonderful place to play. So we'll look forward to that in the
well, we got to do a couple of games there this year,
Yeah.
and it's an excellent facility. They have put the lights up, which is going to help us. But we did the afternoon games. I don't think we've never done an evening game there, so it'll be something new for them and for us.
Well, Robinson trails 21-3. Hampton has allowed a total of 3 points per game, a total of 9 in 3 games since the playoffs began. So Robinson certainly has their work cut out for them, to say the least. And the Crabbers, of course, well aware of Robinson's ability to come from behind. George Atwood has the ball in the air, and the second half is underway. Tony Hyman will take it at the 9-yard line. Following Todd Summers, Hyman, who fumbled earlier in the ball game, is stopped at the 34. Well, let me rephrase that. He will finally be stopped, and now, well after the whistle could or should have blown, they finally stop him.
Yeah, I don't understand why they waited so long to blow the whistle. That somebody could get hurt, not just Hyman, and anybody could get hurt, because it kind of leaves people wide open, Tim.
So the Crabbers leading 21-3. We'll start from their 35-yard line. Good field position.
Well, I know Mike Smith really told these young men that this is one thing that Robinson has done all year, is come back from being behind at halftime.
Dwayne Murphy right up the middle.
And then not to let off at all. That picked up about 4 yards that time. Murphy is doing an excellent job of carrying the ball, as is Donovan Capehart and Todd Summers.
I predict, and this is a pretty safe prediction, I think you're going to see, if nothing else, you'll see greater intensity on the part of the Crabbers, because they have been so responsive to instruction this year. I think you're going to see them really bear down and make sure that Robinson doesn't get back in this game. But of course, anything can happen, and that's why we play these games.
Well, and I know they made some adjustments at halftime too, Tim. Look at it, wide open is
that's Gerzak.
Ryan Gerzak.
Ryan Gerzak tripped up, but not before he gets inside the 40. And a flag down at the line of scrimmage. So hold everything, folks. There is a flag down. We'll watch as our official, Ron Cherry, will give us the initial indication. Ineligible receiver downfield, so it'll wipe out the fine gain of Gerzak's.
I don't know who that was, Tim. I'd like to see the replay on that. And here we can see it. Brian Gerzak was wide open, and there's the player right there. It's downfield. Tim, one of the linemen on the far side might have been number 74. Somebody, I don't know, one of the tackles on the other side was got downfield before the pass was completed. So that brings up a 2nd and 6. No, I'll take that back, about a 2nd and
11.
11.
5-yard penalty. We played it down.
There you heard referee Ron Cherry. The crew is from where, Bob? The Southeastern Virginia?
Yeah, Southeastern Virginia, and they're an excellent crew, and I like the way they're rotated around, Tim. They don't let a crew from either one of the two regions that are playing do the ball games.
So it's 2nd down, a little more than 10 for the Crabbers. On the draw play, this is Summers, and a good open field tackle put on Summers. Over there to defend was number 23, and that is Sean Spear of Robinson. So Summers trying to get outside. Had Gerzak over there leading blocks for him along with Hyman. Summers was tripped up on a good play. Summers out and Capehart in for the Crabbers.
We got 3rd and long, Tim.
At the 36-yard line. Hunter rolls along the line of scrimmage, now wants to pass. He gets some pressure, and he's going to go down. So he will be sacked as the slippery field comes into play.
But Tim, he was trying to set his feet so he could throw the ball, and you just couldn't do it.
So the Crabbers are stopped one of the few times today. In fact, I believe this will be the first time that the Crabbers will be punting.
And this is the first time they punted today as number 99, James Bailey's in the punt. And this should give good field position, as you can see on that replay, but this will give good field position to the Robinson team, and they tried to block that, Tim.
Fielded at the 48-yard line. Running laterally, good job on the special team. That was Jeff Chappelle returning the kick for Robinson. And the Crabbers led by Aaron Matthews, along with number 10 over there as well, and that is Adrian Billups. Here we go on the replay. You'll see Bailey gets a pretty good kick away, gets some pressure, but again, that offensive line or the kicking line for Hampton does a good job of keeping them out.
And they stacked up one side. They will overplay one side to try to break somebody free to block. They have blocked some kicks this year.
Pitch back comes to Johnson. Johnson is down to the 40. Pickup of about 4. Mike Johnson had a pretty good first half. He carried the ball 11 times for 36 yards. If I can run down some of the personal gains for Robinson, they had 36 yards on 11 carries for Johnson, held well below his average. 13 yards for Marshall and 17 yards rushing for Torgerson.
Momentarily stoppage of time there as the Rod Cherry make some adjustments with some of his equipment. Maybe it's our microphone, I don't know.
Yeah, I believe he lost it a little earlier there, but we're all set to go now at the 40-yard line of Hampton. 21-3, the Crabbers on top. 8:21 left here in the third quarter. Division 6 Group AAA High School Football Championship for the state of Virginia. Torgerson along the line of scrimmage, hands off on the option. It's down close to a first down. They'll be about a half yard shy of the first down marker at the 35-yard line. Crabbers with 9 first downs in the first half. Robinson with 4. Hampton coming into this game had averaged 14 first downs per game during the playoffs, while allowing the opponent a little less than 10. Troy Knox lines up wide to the right. This is Johnson getting the first down for Robinson.
And he was a hole wide. It was a nice hole for him that time, Tim, on the right side of that Hampton defense. And he picked up the first down, but you see they're getting close to the 30-yard line. They get inside that 30-yard line. That's when the Hampton Crabbers really get tough. We can see on this instant replay, just a simple handoff to the deep man who just picks the hole and away he goes.
First down at the 31 of Hampton. Torgerson on the option. And the ball comes loose. No gain on the play.
I hear some voice. We may be picking up the mic of the official. I heard somebody say something about clipping.
I'm told from our director that is just the crowd, Mike, and you'll watch the replay here as Torgerson hands off on the dive play. That is Johnson, and he's wrapped up very nicely, thank you, by Jamie Patterson. Second down and about 8. Inside handoff for Marshall. Marshall across the 25 down to the 24-yard line.
And that was a trap play on that, Tim.
Inside trap play is what Robinson uses to get a lot of their yardage, but I haven't seen anybody use it for great success against the Crabbers all year. But then again, no one's had anything work well against the Crabbers. Watch the replay. There you see they do some trapping on the middle of that defensive line, and Marshall picks up enough yardage to make it 3rd down and 3.
And that's Matt McKeska, is the number 70, the big tackle that was doing the trapping.
This is Marshall again. He's got the 1st down. He's down to the 15-yard line. Robinson is not out of this game yet. They have made notice be taken by the Crabbers that they may be behind by 18 points, but they're not giving up. They mark the ball at the 15-yard line. It's 1st down for Robinson. 5:45 left in the 3rd quarter. Here's your replay as Marshall finds a good running room and does a good job of getting yardage.
Well, he's getting some excellent blocks up on that line of scrimmage from that offensive line of his.
Torgerson rolls, wants to throw, fakes the throw now. He'll keep it, and he's driven out of bounds inside the 10 at about the 8-yard line. Kenny Robinson for the Crabbers over to kick him, or push him out of bounds. I should say kick him. He didn't kick him, did he?
No, I don't think he kicked him, but he did escort him out of bounds, Tim. The one thing we're going to see here is I don't think we're going to see him put the ball in the air. Because they do, the Hampton Crabbers are liable to come up with a turnover.
There you see Robinson, or rather Torgerson on the replay. And then you'll see number 60, Hampton's Robinson, run him out of bounds. 2nd down and 3. Torgerson gives to Marshall. And Marshall is inside the 5.
And he got a 1st down, Tim.
James Wilson in on the stop, along with Jamie Patterson. And they'll stop the clock to advance the chains. It will be 1st and goal for the Rams of Robinson High School. Crabbers now come in with their goal line defense as Mike Slade comes out along with Kenny Robinson and Leonard Lassiter. They'll beef up the middle of that line. The Hampton fans getting behind their team, trying to let them know they want to get involved in this game. Torgerson collides with Marshall in the backfield as he lost his footing, and they'll get little or nothing on that play.
He got back just to the line of scrimmage, Tim, but he did. He ran right into the quarterback and really stumbled after he hit the quarterback. It just fell to the line of scrimmage.
We'll watch the replay of this. There you see, he just lost his footing. Actually, looked like he might have been tripped up by Johnson, number 24. 2nd and goal inside the 4. Torgerson keeps the ball. He's going to try and go in from the outside, and he will not. My gracious, what a tackle on the far sideline.
Well, I tell you what, the Hampton Crabbers were aware of that. Normally you would think they're going to go right up the middle. He just does a naked bootleg that Torgerson took around the right-hand side, but the Crabbers were there. But he did a nice move to pick up a couple yards, but now it's 3rd and goal from the 2.
There you see James Wilson chasing him. He misses him. Jamie Patterson has a shot at him. Torgerson does a stutter step and gets away from him. And then Adrian Billups and Tony Hyman do a good job of putting Torgerson out of bounds. And now we have an official's timeout. Officials timeout. There are 4 minutes and 21 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter. I can make room for that pizza over here, Sam, if you need some help. They've marked the ball at the 2-yard line now. It's 3rd down and goal for the Rams.
Tim, I'm afraid that I don't think they'd even try a field goal if they don't get in.
Marshall is in. So Dermia Marshall scores from 2 yards out. And as they have done all year long, Robinson roars back here in the 3rd quarter to make the game now a 21-9 score. George Atwood on to try the extra point in a very damp area of the field. Gets a good snap, gets good height on the ball, and it is good. So now Robinson pulls within 11 as they come down the field. Marshall scoring from 2 yards out. He scored a touchdown last week in the victory over Miles Godwin. 4:53 was the time consumed, 44 yards, 12 plays, capped by the 2-yard run of Dermia Marshall. Hampton now leads 21-10. There you see it on your screen.
Tim, that's the only second touchdown that Hampton has given up in the playoffs.
The Crabbers have allowed just 9 points coming into this game in the playoffs, and now they, of course, have given up 10. This score is the identical score by which Robinson defeated Miles Godwin last week, 21-10. 4:17 to go here in the third quarter. We understand that the referee was having some difficulty with the clip-on mic, so we will not be able to hear him for the duration, but we appreciate Ron Cherry's efforts in that area for us. We've tried to add a few more dimensions to our coverage. I'd like to hear from you fans. Got some things to say, good or bad. Give the school a call. Let us know. 15-yard line. This is Aaron Matthews, and he refuses to go down. He's finally driven out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Aaron Matthews, who has a touchdown pass for a touchdown in the playoffs. He threw one of 29 yards to Eric Hunter in the game against First Colonial. Watch the replay of the kickoff. Here's Matthews following Tony Hyman. They've marked the ball at the 26. The Crabbers, led by Eric Hunter. There you saw the last part of that. Matthews just was not going to have someone take him down if he could help it. 4 minutes and some change here left in the third quarter. This is Todd Summers across the 30 out to the 34. So he picks up about 8.
One thing to take a ball down and drive it 40-some yards and make a score, and another thing, try to stop this potent Hampton offense, Tim. That's going to be a hard thing for this Ram team to do.
Watch the replays. You see Summers makes more yardage out of this than it looked like he would. He did a good job of finding what little hole there was. And they give him a total of about 7 on the play. Second down and call it 3. Hunter will keep on the quarterback keeper. He'll be close to a first down at the 36. He needs to get to the 36. It'll depend on where they mark the ball. From here, it looks like it is a first down.
They're going to measure it, Tim, but I agree with you. I think he's got it by an inch or 2. You want to ask Sam?
Let me check with Dr. Stills and see what he thinks on this. I think he got it quite easily, actually. The marker was shy of the 36, and he's got it marked on the 36. So it should be a Hampton first down. And watch the replay. And by the length of the football, it is a first down. You know, one of the statistics I was talking about earlier, and I may have been kind of rushed over this. This was some stuff I was checking on. The Hampton Crabbers in the playoffs are plus 14 on turnovers. They have received or committed only 3 turnovers while forcing the opposition to commit 17 turnovers. So that gives you a lot more to do with how Hampton is here. Their defense has been.
And it shows how great that Hampton defensive team is, Tim.
First down at the 36. The fake to Capehart. Hunter has time. He looks for Monday. Big Aaron Monday is not that tall, as he couldn't reach the ball at the Robinson 35-yard line.
And Brian Gerzak was wide open across the middle, Tim, and I'm sure that the coaching staff saw that.
Dwayne Murphy checks in the ball game with Tony Hyman. Leonard Lassiter will come out for the Crabbers. Watch the replay. You'll see Hunter on the play action fake has lots of time. Does a little shuffling there and throws downfield, but he just threw it well over the head of the outstretched hands of Aaron Monday. 2nd and 10. Fake to Capehart again. Over the middle, they look for Gerzak, and again, the ball too tall, as Gerzak was covered better this time, but this time, Hyman was open.
Well, Gerzak was open immediately. If he'd have got the ball to him right away, Tim, he waited until he ran to where the defender was.
Now this kind of play, let's think about this for a minute. Two successive incomplete passes is keeping that time on the clock. Hampton leading by 11. Watch the replay here. Again, Hunter has lots of time. And again, he just overthrows his intended receiver. What you can't see is just out of your picture was Tony Hyman, who was open. 3rd down and 10 at the 36. Again, same play action. Lofted down, Hyman's behind the defense, and he's incomplete. Good job of taking the ball away from him. Hyman had the ball, he had to slow down as defending on the play. Chris Scales, all-regional defensive back for Robinson, was able to recover. Hyman had him beat by 5 steps.
Oh, easy, Tim.
Unlike, again, you know what happens too, I mean, Hunter is only human. He overthrew the last 2, so this time he took a little off of it, and in fact, if he had aired it out, he might have had a better shot.
Well, if it aired it out, that had a score, Tim.
Yep. Now Hyman, what you can't see right now is Hyman has 5 steps, but then he has to come back. See him way beyond, and then Scales does a good job of getting to the ball. Fake play, Lassiter's got the first down inside the 50.
Oh, what a call, Tim.
So James Bailey in deep punt formation.
Okay, Tim, let me tell you what happened. I knew that they were going to do this, but I did not know when. But they rush a lot of people and leave that end wide open on the kick, and all he did was tell Bailey, throw the ball. Well, let's get the first down. And boy, you talk about taking the air out of a team's bubble. That'll do it in a heartbeat.
You got the Crabbers in a 4th down situation. You fake the punt. You throw the completed pass. The Crabbers are back on offense. At the 48, Todd Summers down to the 46. Stood up and driven back by number 32, and that is Jason Tenberg, the middle linebacker for the Rams. 2:08 remaining. There you see some of the Crabbers on the sidelines trying to keep warm. Temperature in the 30s for this afternoon's game. The snow has evaporated from the middle of the field between the 30s, but it's still sloppy out there. Not as bad as we've seen in the past, but it's still, the footing is less than ideal, to say the least. Pickup of 2 for Summers, 2nd down and 8. Hunter again goes to the air. Throws for Hyman. Hyman has it at the 30. He struggles out of bounds at the 29-yard line. No flags down. First down for the Crabbers.
You can't hold Hyman and Hunter in check very long, Tim. They may overthrow a couple times or underthrow or something, but when they get connected, they're going to put some points on the board and then fire up this crowd.
Watch the replay as Hunter goes back again, has plenty of time. His offensive line doing the job as they have all year. Give Hunter more than enough time to complete the pass. Hyman at the 29-yard line is driven out of bounds, but not before the Crabbers get yet another first down. This is Summers. The hole is filled in the middle. He struggles for a yard at maybe 2. Todd Summers carries. 1:15 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Hampton leading 21-10. If you joined us late, this is the AAA Division VI State Championship game between the Robinson Secondary School of Fairfax, Virginia, and our very own Hampton Crabbers, appearing in their 5th consecutive state championship game, having won 2 of the 4.
We're under a minute to go in the first 3rd quarter.
Gain of a yard for Summers. It's 2nd down. Inside handoff for Dwayne Murphy. Murphy stopped momentarily, but a good second effort gets him inside the 25 down to about the 24. So Dwayne Murphy, who has not done a lot of ball carrying here in the first 3 quarters. Murphy's only carried it 3 times. That was his 4th carry. And he picks up about 3, maybe 4 yards.
And watch on this replay, Tim. It's an inside handoff. He runs. He gets his 1 right there, and he picks up this 2, 3. He picks up about 4 more yards after he is hit.
We should have time for 1 more play here in the 3rd quarter. We're inside of 10 seconds. And now Hunter calls a timeout as he decided once he got to the line that something was not the way he wanted it.
Now, Tim, that was the same call as before, trying to draw him offside to get that first down. They got 6 seconds to go in this quarter, and as we've seen, all the scoring today has been to our left. Nobody has scored to the end zone to our right. I don't know if that's got anything to do with it or not, but one thing you want to keep in mind.
The Crabbers being so opportunistic, they forced 4 turnovers from Norview, 3 interceptions and a fumble. Then against First Colonial, a team that averaged 35 points a game and just doesn't make mistakes, they made them commit 5 turnovers. And then last week against Vauquier, they made them commit 8 turnovers with 5 interceptions and 3 fumbles, and all those things were shared by almost a different player on each case. All right, we have 6 seconds remaining. 3rd down and about 4 for the Crabbers. Outside of your screen at the bottom of the field is Tony Hyman, number 1, and then at the top of your screen, just out of your picture, is Aaron Monday, number 89. Referee is making sure that they have used enough time, as there are several radio stations covering this game today, and of course they want to make sure they have enough time so they don't miss a play. Watch for the Murphy-Risky play here. No, we don't see it this time. Hunter keeps. He's got the first down and then some. He's dragged down at the 11-yard line.
And that's the first time we've seen the option today, Tim, by Hampton anyway. And last week we saw Hunter run that thing to perfection. He picked up a lot of yardage, scored a touchdown on it, and that's the end of the 3rd quarter. Now we're coming down to the end where all the points have been scored today.
All right, that is the 3rd quarter, and it is 21-10. Hampton on top. A.G. Womble has an interview on the sidelines.
Yeah, we got Steve Washington. Steve, that was a big first down.
Big first down, one we needed at this time of the game. It's tightening up here, definitely.
All right, we're up 21-10. We can't make any mistakes, though.
No, you know, when it comes to the championship games, it's a team that makes the fewest amount of mistakes. And so far, we've been playing pretty well, but we can't afford any more against this Robinson team, I tell you.
What did Coach Smith tell them at halftime?
Well, he wanted them to keep up playing with the intensity that they were playing with. He made some adjustments, which he always does at halftime. But mainly, he wanted them to know we had 24 more minutes of football to play today.
Year after year, it seems like the Crabbers are here on this game, in this game.
Well, they seem to get up for this time of the year. A lot of teams try to get to the playoffs. Hampton tries to win the state championship.
All right, Steve. Good luck to you today. Steve Washington.
We're sure glad to have him back on the sideline, AG. You give him our best.
12 minutes remaining here in the state championship game. We'll watch the replay of that last play by Hunter.
And it was just an option, and he, instead of pitching it or handing it off, he just kept it and found a nice hole there, and the guy grabbed a hold of his shoulder pads, or he liable to have scored on that play.
Hunter scored twice last week against Fauquier. He scored from 13 yards out and then did a 10-yarder as he was very instrumental in that attack. Now it's 1st down at the 12 for the Crabbers. 12 minutes remaining in the season. Crabbers trying to be the state champion for 3 of the last 5 years. At the 12, Hunter gives to Todd Summers. Summers inside the 10, and then he
was
pushes
tackled and pushed forward about 3 yards.
I was just going to say he had some help from one of the Robinson defenders. I'm not sure that as much as his power. Todd Summers has great power in those legs, and he just keeps churning, and you got to take him down and hold him down because
you got to. Tim, you're right. You got to take his feet out from under him, and you can't hit him high. As you can see here, he is stopped right there at about the 10-yard line, and then a guy comes behind and says, "Okay, I'm going to tackle you." And Todd says, "Thank you. I'll take those 4 more yards."
5 yards on the carry for Summers. 2nd down. Left side is Summers inside the 5 to the 4. And he is met by Mike Johnson, number 24. Again, another two-way player for the Rams. It'll be 3rd down, as the Crabbers, in fact, can get a 1st down without scoring. They need to get to the 2 for a 1st down. It's 3rd down and 3 at the 5-yard line. Here you see the replay as Summers. Looks like his forward progress got him down to the 4. They marked the ball at the 5.
They marked the ball back.
Tim, Bob.
Go ahead.
They missed the mark on that by at least 2 feet, maybe a yard.
You mean the spot?
The spot, yeah.
Yeah, they really did, because our replay showed that he was at the 4 when he was driven back. Nonetheless, it's 3rd down and 3. Now flags are down, and we're going to look at a delay of game call, I'm afraid. So the Crabbers were rolling. They took too much time to call that play, and
that
that'll
hurts
cost them
down
5.
there, Tim. That really hurts down there.
That's valuable real estate. Crabbers averaging 34 points a game in the playoffs. They averaged 26 points per game during the regular season. And they held their opponents to no score in 6 of the 12 games they played.
Tim, we can either see a pass here, or we may even see the option.
10:34 remaining in the ball game. Hunter will keep his call his own number. He's down close to a first down. I don't think he's got the first down. I think
it
he'll beat the
depends
shot.
again on the mark. He's awful close to it.
I think we're going to look at fourth down. He's going to be about a yard shy as they'll mark it just short of the 3, and they need to get to the 2. So now what do you do, Coach?
You take it straight ahead, Tim. Take it straight ahead.
The worst thing that happens is you give them the ball inside their 5. There you see the replay of Eric Hunter, big 6'4" Eric Hunter, who's become quite a runner. Now the crowd gets involved in this one. This is a big play here. Fourth and a yard, and we've got motion but no flag as Hunter was trying to get him drawn offside, but it didn't work. We saw movement on the defensive side of the line, but apparently not enough movement to necessitate a flag.
Tim, they marked the ball about a yard short of the first down. But here in this situation, I look for him to go straight ahead, and I'll tell you why. With the field being as kind of muggy and sloppy and a little bit slippery, if you try to go laterally and then cut, you may not be able to plant your foot and make the cut. It may slip out from behind you. You can get more power if you're going straight ahead. And I don't know that if Mike Smith might just give the ball to Eric and tell him to take it, but I don't look for him to go straight ahead. Of course, hey, I've been wrong many times trying to catch what Mike Smith is going to do. And again, he may throw a little dump pass. He may just fake it and throw a little dump pass to Mundy or Gerzak. Well, we'll have to see.
So the Crabbers now with a fourth down and a yard to go. The ball is at well, it's between the 3 and 4 yard line. It's a little more than a yard. They need to get inside the 2. Crabbers have Murphy directly behind Hunter. And that's who gets the call. Murphy gets the call, and he's stacked up. It's going to be a very close call. I'm not sure he got it.
I'm not either, Tim.
We'll wait and see as the officials now will stop the clock with 9:39 to go. And the Hampton Crabbers seem to think that they've gotten it, but they're going, yes. Well, let's see now.
They're going to measure, Tim. And
Ryan Gerzak was trying to be an official.
In this game, they're not going to take anybody. They're going to check it out for sure.
You see the replay. It didn't look like Murphy got much. Let's watch and see how they spot this ball. And they have held him. Robinson has stopped the Crabbers short of the first down.
Tim, that couldn't have been much more than an inch.
So Robinson hangs on to what little hope they still have, trailing by 11 points. Remember now, that's 2 touchdowns, or at least a touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and then a field goal just to tie. So you've got to have 2 scores against Hampton, and you've got 9:33 to do it, and you're starting from your 2. And also, you're not a passing team, so there's a lot of marks against Robinson right now, but they are winners, and let's see what they do. Marshall stacked up after a yard. Dermia Marshall for a yard or so. He is a good two-way player for
yeah, he does. He does a good job, Tim.
He's had 5 interceptions on the season, along with his running yardage. He carried 132 times for 741 yards, averaging a little more than 5.5 yards every time he carried. This time, James Wilson and Jamie Patterson are right there to keep him to a 3-yard gain. They've marked it at the 5-yard line. 2nd down and 7 for the Rams of Robinson Secondary School. This is Mike Johnson, and Johnson is wrestled to the ground as he gets to the 6.
Well, Tim, this is a big, big 3rd down, because what you've got to do is get a drive mounted and score if you're Robinson because of the time factor. And you've got a 3rd and 5, and you are deep in your own end zone. I just don't look for him to put the ball in there, but I do look for him to do a maybe the option play or even a misdirection trap or something.
Aaron Monday in on the stop for Johnson a moment ago. 3rd down and 5 at the 7. Torgerson pitches it back. This is Dermia Marshall. Flags are down.
Tim, there was a clip, I believe.
He would be close to a 1st down. Let's see, and it's going to be an illegal block against.
It had to be. That was an illegal block.
And Michael
I saw
Slade,
that one. If we catch it on the replay, you'll see it.
Michael Slade, number 41 for the Crabbers, was ecstatic to say the least because he knew they were going to call it.
Yeah, you take the penalty because the flag will be at where they put the flag.
Watch
back
Michael
at the
Slade
5.
right here.
There it is. You can see him getting.
Well, I didn't really. No, actually, what you didn't see was the block on Jamie Patterson, number 64. I think that's where the penalty occurred because he was hit from behind. Slade looked like it was a pretty good block on him.
But the flag was thrown at the 5, Tim, so that moves the ball back to the 2.5-yard line. So now you got a 3rd down and really long. And what do you do now? You call timeout and say, Coach, what do I do? Or do I put the ball in there? I think you got to take the stops out. You got 7 minutes and less than 8 minutes to go. You got to do something if you're Robinson.
3rd down and 9 at the 3. And they're going to be stacked up at the 5-yard line. That was Mike Johnson, number 24.
And that was that misdirection or that trap that they are very successful with, Tim. But I tell you, the Hampton Crabbers are well coached in how to defend against that trap, and they did. They come up with a yeoman's job of stopping that play. And now that you got to punt the ball from deep in your own end zone, Hampton should come out with good field position.
You'll see the replay here. Michael Draper, number 63, is in on this stop, along with Jamie Patterson.
They're not putting anybody back. No, Hampton's putting nobody deep.
So they'll just let the ball bounce if, in fact, they kick it, and they do. There's no one back to stop George Atwood's kick. It takes a Robinson roll all the way to the 49-yard line of Hampton.
But that way, you can't fumble it. You don't give the ball up, and you make sure they don't try a trick play from down there, Tim.
So the line of scrimmage was the 5, and that was a 45-yard kick with no return. There you see it, just shy of the midfield stripe. And that's where the Hampton Crabbers will have it, leading 21-10 with 6:40 remaining in the state championship game. The Hampton Crabbers looking to become the state champ for 3 of the last 5, and they have won the state championship 4 times in the 1980s. Eric Hunter gives to Dwayne Murphy, and Murphy's stacked up after a short gain.
Tim, he just got back to the line of scrimmage, basically. There was some missed blocking assignments on that side because there was a host of Rams looking for him.
What you saw down there was some of the Hampton Crabbers defensive team. There's Jamie Patterson and Michael Draper, among others, trying to get their hands warm. They've got these blowers down on the sideline as it's frigid, to say the least. The temperature in the 30s.
And it's so wet on the field, Tim, that when they get their hands on that ground, I'm sure it is cold.
And we're told that the temperature at game time on the field was 28 degrees. It looked like a mix-up in the backfield. Hunter will carry it, and he will be pushed out of bounds at about the 48-yard line. So it looked like there was a mix-up because I don't think Hunter really planned to run with that ball.
Well, and I know he didn't want to stop the clock, but that's exactly what happened. With 5:35, the clock is stopped.
And it'll be 3rd down and about 8 for the Crabbers. We're going to watch the replay. See, kind of looked like someone missed a handoff assignment. He had good blocking in front of him, but again, good defensive effort by.
Well, Robinson does a good job of the second guy coming in and tackling. The first guy, all he does is just kind of hang on to you and keep you up so the other guy can come in and finish you off.
The clock does stop with 5:35 remaining on the clock.
Well, Tim, we're going to see the ball in the air.
3rd down and 8 at the 48.
And watch for Aaron Mundy across the middle. And that is the last time out for the Crabbers.
So Hunter calls timeout. Hunter, in the playoffs, there has been just one interception of a Hunter pass. And of course, during the season, that was his trademark, was the fact that he did not give up that interception.
Well, he didn't get an interception, Tim, until, halfway through the season. He'd thrown a whole lot of...
I think he only threw for 3 all year, I believe.
Yeah, but I think I don't know how many times he'd thrown a ball before he was intercepted. I'm trying to remember. It was in the 50s or something, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that's been the trademark of the Crabbers this season. They force you to make the mistake, and then they make you pay because they take it down and score. Torgeson's passing percentage should Marshall for some reason, that's their running back, should Robinson get the ball back. Torgeson, as we said before, is not known for his passing prowess. And then you got that Hampton defensive line rushing down your throat.
Well, and you've got an excellent secondary in the Hampton defense too, Tim, and Owens and Hyman and Lassiter. And then, of course, you drop your linebackers back, Patterson and your defensive ends, and you really put a lot of pressure on trying to find an open zone.
3rd down and 8 at the Robinson 48. Hunter straight back to pass. Has time, flares it out for Capehart. Capehart down close to the first down, but he will be about a yard or more short of the first down. They'll mark it at the 41, but he needs to cross the 40 for the first down. So now you're facing a 4th down situation. You have no timeouts left, so you can't even take a break to figure this one out.
No, but they've got a timeout, so this is really gives Mike Smith a chance to think about it, because they're going to measure, and they got to bring the chains in all the way from across the other side, Tim.
And once more, Mike Smith uses his head, because it's not a first down, but he's within his rights to ask for it because it's fairly close. Capehart, who has not played much in the playoffs, does a good job of concentrating. That ball was thrown a little bit behind him, and he did a good job of catching it and then running with it afterwards. There you see, it's easily a foot short of the first down, but Mike Smith had the right to call for that measurement, and in the meantime, he bought some time to discuss the options available to him.
And Tim, they're not going to kick the ball. They're going to go for it.
5:17 is the time remaining in the 4th quarter. There are no ties in this game. Robinson trails by 11.
Tim, I just take a quarterback sneak.
Robinson opened the scoring with a 41-yard field goal, and then Hampton responded with 3 touchdowns to lead 21-3 at halftime. The only score here in the second half has been a 2-yard run by Dermia Marshall to make it 21-10. 4th and a yard, and Dwayne Murphy has it more than enough. He's knocked off his feet momentarily. He gets up and keeps going, or not really gets up, but keeps his balance and goes inside the 30. Looked like Murphy was going to go down.
Well, Tim, number 6, Chris Scales, who is an excellent defensive back, hit Murphy with all he had and couldn't put him down, and he was still down on the ground, beating the ground, because he said, how can I hit him and he not go down?
Well, I was so sure that Murphy was going to go down, because watch here, he takes a real good lick here at about the 35-yard line.
Right there.
I mean, right there, it looks like he's going to go down, and he just stays on his feet. Just an incredible job of maintaining his balance, and gets the first down at the 28-yard line. Travers keeps the ball on the ground.
And that was, looked like Murphy again, and he was tripped up in the backfield and fell forward for about a yard, Tim, but the clock is running. You're really hurting if you're Robinson, because like you said, they got to score twice, or 1 touchdown, a 2-point extra at PAT, and then a field goal just to tie and to send the game into overtime. And Hampton is not about to give up the ball, and they're going to use a lot of clock on this possession.
And they used too much clock on this possession. There will be a delay of the game call. Hampton took too much time. 4:08 remains in the 4th quarter. I should tell the fans my reference earlier to the Murphy-Ruski play was that play that Murphy fumbled and had trouble and ended up taking a safety against First Colonial. But then last week against Fauquier, ran 84 yards on the play. You want to tell them about that play, how that works?
Well, actually what happens is the center centers the ball, but just keeps the ball at the back of his leg, and the quarterback takes off like he's got the ball, Tim. He actually doesn't have the ball in his hands, and him and all the rest of the backs and the line flow to the left side, and Murphy just comes and takes the ball away from the center and goes around the right side.
Unmolested 84 yards last week. Hunter, again, plenty of time, but he hasn't got anybody open. Now he scrambles, looking for some blocks. Wilson gives him a block. Now he throws in the end zone. He's got a man open, but he throws it out of bounds as Tony Hyman caught it, but he was well out of bounds when he did so.
I tell you what, the Hampton Crabbers will sure make it exciting, won't they?
They always do. We're 4 seconds short of 4 minutes to go in the ball game.
And they didn't put a lot of pressure on him at the beginning because he just had plenty of time.
He just couldn't find a receiver.
He just couldn't find a receiver.
Watch Wilson, James Wilson, heads up ball, gives him a little more time, and there you see, unloads down in the corner. Hyman was open in the end zone, but just had to come back and go out of bounds to catch it. 3:56 remains in the fourth quarter. Hampton 21, Robinson 10. Tim Cole, Bob Hintz, and A.G. Womble. Hope you're enjoying the ball game. Hyman is open at the 25. He's got it, and then he'll get no more, but he'll have the catch for a 3-yard gain.
No, Tim,
excuse me, that's a 7 yards.
Yeah.
7-yard gain. And we've got a player shaken up for Robinson.
That's one way to stop the clock. Although they'd have their full complements of timeouts, I don't believe they have called a timeout today, this second half.
Watch the replay now. What you couldn't see was Hyman was wide open. He went down to the 25-yard line, did a little hook pattern, and then he was right there. And the defense responded quickly. Let's see if we can find out what might have happened to the Robinson player.
And the one that made the tackle is the one that's still on the ground, Tim.
Yep.
And I'm not sure who that is.
I think it's 23 for Robinson. That would be Sean Spear.
Tim?
Yeah, it
yes,
is.
AJ.
It is 23. Sean Spear, I believe.
And he was the initial tackler, if I'm not mistaken, A.G.
I believe he was.
A.G., while we've got you on the phone here, so to speak, your thoughts on the game so far, and who are you picking for your players of the game?
Well, Tim, I tell you, they've all been outstanding. Eric Hunter has had another outstanding game. I think has proven why he is the all-region player award that he received. He's just played outstanding. I'm going to go with Eric Hunter.
That's a good choice, and you could go with several. You could go with defensive players as well.
Well,
they've done a good job.
Eric's done a good job, but my vote is going to go to the runners. Capehart, I got to give it to Capehart, Murphy, and Summers, Tim. They have just done an excellent job in this very sloppy conditions out there on Todd Field. And this Todd Stadium is in excellent shape for as many games that have been played on it this year.
Robinson now has called a timeout. They were not being charged with one because of the injury. Spear had to come out in order for them not to be charged with a timeout, but now they, in fact, have done so. So Robinson now, we remind you, they're undefeated on this season, looking at an 11-point deficit, and they're ranked 13th in the country. You know, you got to wonder how come Hampton didn't get ranked. Todd,
well,
they only lost one game, and that was to Tab, who was ranked.
Nationally ranked, yeah, and I don't understand it either, Tim.
Maybe after this game they will be. I don't know whether they've kept the polls open. A lot of places in the country have already played their championships games last weekend.
Yeah.
But certainly Hampton, if they're not nationally ranked, belong there. They certainly should be. They've demolished all of their opponents. Their only loss, an opening game loss to Tab. Tab was ranked as high as 12th or 13th in the country throughout the season. And now Hampton has come back and is on the way to defeating the number 13 ranked team. That certainly would lend credence to their national ranking possibilities. But they'll take the state championship in lieu of a national ranking, I think, any time.
Yeah, no doubt in my mind. The national ranking means nothing. You gotta be able to win the championship.
Well, we're fourth down now. Fourth down and about 7 for the Crabbers. 3:43 remains. Hunter back again. Lots of time. He has more time than you would imagine. He's got some running room, but then he realizes that the defense is coming up. He throws a Hail Mary in the end zone, and it goes incomplete, as Hyman, Monday, and Gerzak were all there, along with Capehart, who was just to the left of them.
Monday was the one that went up, and he timed it just a little slow, Tim. Had he jumped a half a second later, he may have gotten his hands on it. He may have got a little help, a little push from behind, too. I don't know. But there was no flag, so
for the second time here in the second half, the Crabbers will give the ball up on downs. You may recall earlier in the second half, they were down on the 2-yard line, and Robinson held them. This time they hold them at the 25. So Robinson now trailing by 11 will have to go to the air. Torgerson throws it, and it's incomplete, as it wasn't even really close. Jeff Chappelle was the intended receiver. Well, he goes out of bounds.
He's going to get a lot of pressure from this Crabber defensive line, because they put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, especially the ones that they have seen this year when there is a passing situation, and he's got to put the ball in the air, Tim. But if you'll notice on the replay, he rolls to his left and then has to try to square his shoulders around and throw, and he had James Wilson in his face when he threw the ball.
Big James Wilson, 6'3", 232. I wouldn't want him in my face. Torgerson, again, same pattern, different receiver, same result.
Well, that was a catchable ball that time. That was right in number 82, the split end. That's T-Roy Knox. I mean, it hit him in the hands, Tim. That was a catchable ball.
It really was. You can't fault Torgerson for that one as he laid it right out there. But it falls incomplete with 3:22 left there. You saw it on your screen.
And you can thank that to Beverly Penn Thaxton down there in the truck for putting that graphic up on the screen for us. And you can see on the replay, Tim, it was right in his hands, and he just dropped it. Lack of concentration. Maybe his hands are cold. I don't know.
Again, Knox is in motion. Same side, same roll. Flag is down. This time, Knox makes the catch at the 35 and gets the first down at the 37. But let's wait and see what the penalty flag will be.
And I think it's against Robinson. I believe that there was movement on the line of scrimmage. If that's the case, they will bring that back, take a 5-yard penalty, and run the third down again.
From the expressions on the faces, or at least the body motions of two of the players, let's watch the replay. You see Knox going in motion. He'll be the receiver.
And I didn't see the motion, but that was the call. That was the call.
And Knox makes a good catch. He's wide open. Torgerson did a good job of getting it to him, but it's wiped out by the motion penalty. And that'll back the ball up to the 20-yard line. It'll be third down and 15. They need to cross the 35 for the first down. 3:14 as the time is moving so slowly here in the fourth quarter, as it always seems to do in these situations.
I looked up and the third quarter was gone. I'm thinking, wow, that was a fast quarter. But you're right, Tim. This is a much slower quarter, and we're under 3.
Third down and 15. Again, Knox goes in motion. Kenny Robinson had a shot at Torgerson, missed him. Now he throws it downfield, and it's caught at midfield. Dermia Marshall on the receiving end as Kenny Owens was there along with Tony Hyman. Hyman fell down.
Yeah, that was my point, Tim. He had to come back for the ball, because had that ball not been underthrown, he would not have completed it.
The hurry-up offense for Robinson. We'll get a chance perhaps to see the replay here. You'll see Torgerson going and throwing down at the 50. And there you saw already on the ground was Hyman. Back to the live action. Torgerson has a man open, completes the pass at the 35, down to the 25, to the 23. And that'll be another first down for Robinson. 2:25 remaining. The Rams are not through yet. They've marked the ball at the 25. It'll be first down. They restart the clock.
Well, Tim, that man was wide open that time.
Now, I'm not sure Hampton has enough players on the field. They had a couple of extra ones come off. I think they'll have enough, but they're...
Yeah, there's 11 out there.
2:10 remains. This time, Torgerson rolls to his right, throws it behind the intended receiver.
And it was almost picked off by Slade, number 41, Tim.
Michael Slade would have had a waltz down the sideline had he been able to pick that one off. So the clock stops with 2:05 remaining.
And you can see the shadows, Tim, as the sun now is going to be right in the face of the quarterback throwing that ball. And there's the long shadows as that sun is coming down. There's been no scores at this end of the field today.
Second down and 10 at the Hampton 25. Robinson trailing by 11. Torgerson with time, throws, he's got a man open at the 15. He's down inside the 5, and he's going to score.
Tim, that was a tight end that went right down the center and nobody picked him up. And then he was hit by about 4 or 5 crabbers, and he was not going to be denied. He got into the end zone.
That was Teroy Knox, a 25-yard touchdown. Robinson has done it all year long. 7 games of their 13. They have trailed at halftime, and he just does a super job.
Tim, they're going for 2. And there you can see he just keeps right on going and gets away and makes it into the end zone.
21-16. They have to get this 2-point conversion to make a field goal plausible for them. Torgerson looks in the end zone, throws. It is juggled and held onto. The 2-point conversion is good.
And boy, we still got a ball game with 1:57. There's a lot of time left in this ball game, Tim, and we're going to see an onside kick, I'm sure.
1:35 the time, 75 yards, 4 plays, 25-yard touchdown. We'll be back with the last minute 57, but first a timeout. There you see George Atwood, who has the range. He's already hit a 41-yard field goal in this game. He can hit them from outside of the 40, but right now we're thinking onside kick as there is a 3-point difference in this ball game. Hampton leading 21-18. Now they'll shuffle up and he kicked the ball 10 yards. It is a live ball. Who's got it? The Crabbers have it according to Jamie Patterson. It may have gone out of bounds. And of course, it belongs to the receiving team. If it goes out of bounds, there's a penalty, but it may have been recovered. I'm not sure.
Well, he motioned the Crabbers ball, Tim.
Now the Crabbers have no timeouts left. They have used all of their timeouts, while Robinson, I believe, have at least 2 of their timeouts remaining. They've used 1. They used 1 after Spear was shaken up, and then they used a timeout. So they have 2 timeouts. They can stop the clock twice during this last minute 57. Watch the replay of the onside kick. It has gone the 10 yards. It's a live ball at that point. The Crabbers covered it. Back to the live action. You don't want any fumbles right now. Hunter keeps on the option. Hunter will dive forward to the 48.
And Tim, that's hard to turn on. That field is really messy in that area.
Robinson calls their second timeout. They used just 9 seconds on that play. A pickup of about 2. The Crabbers desperately need a first down. A first down will pretty much close it out.
Oh, yeah, if they get a first down, you're right, Tim, that would close it out. As you can see, Eric carries the ball and sees the space where he can go back, but his feet were slipping out from under him, and he just couldn't make the cut.
A lot of the Robinson fans had left early when it was 21-3 and then 21-10 and time going down. They kind of headed for the exits. They should know better than to do that with this come-from-behind team of the Robinson Rams from Fairfax. Their second timeout called. They get 3, so they'll have 1 more timeout after this. Mike Smith in the huddle telling his team what he wants them to do on offense. And of course his counterpart Hilgert has now returned to the sidelines for Robinson. One of these teams will have a winning streak snapped. Robinson has won 13 games this season without a loss. Mike Smith, there you see him coming off the field, mud-spattered clothing. It's been a good one, folks. 2nd down and 8. 1:48 remains in the 4th quarter. This is Todd Summers. Summers to the 47 before he's stopped by 3 or 4 of the Robinson defenders, among others, Robert Fink, number 90, and Mike Johnson, number 24. And now Robinson will use their last timeout to stop the clock with 1:31 remaining, and it's 3rd down and about 7.
Well, now we'll see Hampton come up with a play, and they have all year long, Tim. They'll come up with something, pick up that first down.
You know, this game has been set up perfectly. Here you've got a team that has a kicker who has the range. He's kicked 3 field goals that we know of more than 40 yards. He kicked a 41 and a 43-yarder coming into this game, and he hit a 41-yarder in the first quarter. There you see the replay as Todd Summers holding that ball. They're trying to tackle the ball, needless to say. But Summers with the good hands holds on. So you've got a situation where if Robinson can in fact hold them, they've got a field goal kicker that can do it. And there's little or no breeze, so.
Yeah, he wouldn't be kicking into any breeze of any kind. The flag is hanging limp. You talk about a big play. You couldn't write a script to make this any more interesting, Tim.
The Crabbers need to get to the 40. They're 7 yards away from a first down. It's third down with 1:31 remaining. Hunter will pass. He got a man open. He's got Hyman at the 32-yard line. He's got the first down.
And boy, that'll just, what I tell you, Tim, they come up to the big play when they have to do it. And if you're the other team, you're saying there's no way that team is going to pass the ball. Well, they don't know Hampton High School and Mike Smith. Mike will make the call you think he won't make, and that's what makes him successful.
A 21-yard pass play. Watch the replay. Hunter with lots of time.
And he had 2 open receivers, Tim, but he went to his favorite receiver, Tony Hyman, wide open on a curl pattern.
And Hyman went out of bounds, stopping the clock, but did not go out of bounds. They've restarted it now, 1:14 remaining. Robinson has no timeouts. Dwayne Murphy is stopped cold, but the Crabbers simply have to hold on to the ball now.
That's all they have to do, Tim, and this game is history.
21-18. Robinson coming from behind. They had trailed 21-3 at halftime. They scored on a 75-yard drive. The pass play got them in this as they completed a pass to Knox, who broke several tackles, got into the end zone. They went for and got the 2-point conversion. And now with 37 seconds left.
And Tim, I don't know if he might take the 5-yard penalty.
It's going to be close. In fact, it is too much time.
Well, there's 25 seconds left, Tim, so all you have to do is run one more play and that's it. And what you do if you're Hampton is you give the ball to Eric, and Eric just falls on it, doesn't hand it off to anybody.
We want you to stay tuned because at the conclusion of the game, our roving reporter, A.G. Womble, will be down on the sidelines talking with the Hampton Crabbers. And, of course, he's got a number of them he can choose from. He could go for about 22 of them, and every one of them would be well deserving of the recognition. The Hampton Crabbers lost their opening game of the season to Tab, and since then have won 11 straight, looking for number 12. Hunter takes the snap, falls to his knee, and that's going to be your ball game. Robinson cannot stop the clock.
Tim, we've seen it all year long. Hampton has just done an excellent job. They scored all the points they needed in the second quarter.
And they are celebrating with 5 seconds to go. And Mike Smith's Chargers are the state champions.
Eric Hunter wanted that football, Tim. He got the football. And you can see a pile there. You can see the Hampton Crabbers side. They are just in jubilation. And Tim, there is a big pile of Hampton high school football players out in the middle of that field. They are just besides themselves.
John Mitchell, with crutches and all, in the middle of that pile. He doesn't care. John Mitchell, who was injured in the first Colonial game, is in the middle of that pile celebrating with his teammates. He said they had the greatest intensity of the season this week in practice, and it paid off for them as they end the unbeaten season of Robinson Secondary School. They extend their win streak to 12 and win the Group AAA Division VI state championship.
Well, Tim,
congratulations to the Crabbers.
Before we go to AG and some of the, I just want to say about all we appreciate all the response we're getting from the fans that watch this game, but I want to tell them to make sure they keep staying tuned because we're going to be doing a lot of basketball. In fact, we're hopefully doing a basketball game of the week. We'll be bringing all the Hampton schools and some of the Newport News schools, of course, and we have an excellent crew that has just really gelled and done an excellent job with this slow motion, instant replay, and everything that we have.
All right, AG, have you got someone down there?
All right. Tim.
Go ahead. Go get it, AG.
All right, we got Benjamin Hatsfield. Your thoughts on the big win, man?
We had to do it. It feels so good. This is my 3rd trip here. Just feel good to have it.
Got a little exciting there, Dan.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Just took control of the ball game.
Great game. Great season.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hampton Crabbers
Tony
continue
Hyman is right behind you, AG.
All right, we'll get him. We got Leonard Lassiter right now. Leonard, good defense right there today.
Thank you, Mr.
Hey, Leonard caught that pass on the fake punt.
Tell us about that pass on the fake punt there.
Well, we worked on it all week. We knew that they stayed back, like 25, 35 yards deep on the punt, and they were rushing the end, so I just slid out, went into the flats. And
all right, there's a lot of key plays today. That was one of the key ones, Leonard.
Yeah, well,
all right.
Week,
Great game. All right, great game. All right, Elvis Mann. We on, Tim?
Yeah, Elvis. Okay.
All right, Tim, we got Elvis Mann. Elvis, great season. Your thoughts on the big win today?
Well, the guys were determined from last year to win the state championship. When we lost to TC Williams, some of the guys were sitting there on the bus. They said we're going to do it next year, and we was just glad to get the opportunity to be here, and they did it.
All right, when we didn't make that 2 or 3 yards last year, I guess it's been a long time waiting for this moment.
Been a long time. It's been a 5-month mission somewhat since August the 10th. But the guys were determined to do it, and they came through great.
What was the difference today?
I think the difference today was that we wanted it more, from last year, the experience from that playoff against TC Williams last year. And it was just in the guys' minds to win the state championship this year, and all we had to do was get them here today, and they was going to win it.
A lot of key plays today. That fake punt, and at the end of the game, several key plays today.
It was. The fake punt was a big play to keep a drive going. And then there towards the end, we had a couple good defensive plays, and we missed a shot there that make a little bit more excitement here towards the end. But overall, the guys played real well.
We got a big Crabber supporter here. Carol Mann, your thoughts?
Excellent game.
All right, great. Good luck to you. Great game, both of you. All right, Elvis and his supportive wife, Carol Mann.
All right, AG, see if you can't get Eric Hunter, if possible. I saw him roaming around there. And Tony Hyman's being interviewed by a host of reporters. Mike Slade is standing right next to you, AJ. You want to see if you get
we do have Mike Slade. Mike, state championship today. I know it has to be a happy moment for you. Your thoughts on the big win?
It is a happy thought, and we worked hard for it. I think we deserved it just as bad as anybody else.
Hey, AG, ask him about that interception.
Coach Smith and the rest of the coaches and everybody came out and supported us the whole year, even when we were down, and then we back up.
Tell us about that interception, Michael.
Well, I saw we had called a stunt for the linebacker on my side to go, so I had to pick up that end that was coming, and I guess the quarterback didn't see me. He threw it, and I just stepped in the way and got it.
Good feeling when you caught it?
Yeah, it was a good feeling, but I still didn't feel like I accomplished anything until the game was over.
Okay, Michael, great season, and you're a great state champion.
Thank you.
Michael Slade.
We got some final stats that AG is going to come to. Yeah, see if you can. I'm trying to figure out where you are on the sideline there, but.
There's a bunch of players over there to your left. There's K. Part is over there. Todd Summers is walking in your direction, AG.
Summers with an S.
Summers with an S.
Tim.
Yeah.
Go
we
ahead.
got the mayor of the city of Hampton. He's a proud man today, and he also played for these Crabber teams a few years ago. Your thoughts, Jimmy?
Oh, it's a great victory. I tell you, to think that they could get here 5 straight times, that's a tremendous tribute to Mike Smith and their coaches. I can't say enough about them. I really can't.
It looked pretty good at halftime, but then it got a little exciting there at the end of the game.
Oh yeah, it's really hard to be in a position where you're winning 21-3 and got another half to play, but they came through. It was a great game.
Ask them about our new stadium.
They want to know about our new stadium.
Well, I got a report yesterday. It's on schedule. We think it's going to be ready by the first game in September.
Well, Jimmy, you and the city council are doing a great job supporting the athletic and the whole school program. Thank you.
Okay.
Jimmy Easton.
You got Todd Summers right behind you, AJ.
Yeah, we got Todd Summers here. Todd, your thoughts?
Well, I like to say that all of us worked hard, and we strived for this the whole year and everything. And a lot of people see that was on our bandwagon at the beginning of the year, but then when we lost the tab, everybody jumped off. But all I got to say is how you like us now.
Hey, get Jamie Patterson.
Jamie Patterson. Jamie, a lot of key plays there. Todd said, how you like us now? And I think everybody likes us now.
Yeah, because early in the season, everybody wanted to say we weren't going to do nothing. We came out and gave extra effort.
Big difference from this game and the first game of the season.
Just worked harder. We wanted this one too bad. We weren't going to lose this one. Well, nothing they could do that was make us lose.
Seems like this team gelled during the playoffs.
It just came together because we had a mission. We had a quest since December 10th last year. We know what we had to do. We came out and did it.
All right, great season, Jamie Patterson. Jamie Patterson.
Hey, G, I see, I don't know if you can get to any of the coaches that are out there, but Danny Mitchell.
James Wilson.
Yeah, get James Wilson over there.
We got all everything here. James Wilson, and James, happy moment for you. Your thoughts on this big win?
Only thing I can say is this is what we set out to do since last year. We let some people down, we let ourselves down, we let our coaches down, and this just changes everything. It makes you feel a lot better about yourself as a player.
A lot of preparation, and like we said before, this team seems to be prepare harder in the playoffs than maybe at any time in the season.
Yes, it does. The coaches, Coach Smith, Coach Mitchell, all the rest of the coaches, they really go out to break things down for us, to interpret it for us, and to tell them to tell us what they think about it and what to expect in different situations. That helps a lot on the field.
Hey, AG, ask him about his leadership role.
Well, did he recover that fumble in the third quarter?
James, your leadership has been important all year, but there's a lot of leaders on this team, and your thought with regard to that?
Yeah, you just touched on it. I'm a leader, and other leaders too. That plays an important part in our program. It has to do with tradition and discipline, and that's what we try to instill.
Well, James, you gave us a lot of happy moments here at the Crabbers. We're proud of you, and you're a great state champion.
Thank you.
James Wilson.
Very good. That was an excellent interview. A fine young man, Tim, because he is Mr. Everything on that Crabber line.
All right, AG, while AG's looking for someone else to talk with, let me run down some final stats here. Compliments of Jerry the Z. First downs, the Crabbers dominated 15-9. These figures are almost exactly where their averages were coming into this series. 134 yards rushing, 126 for Robinson, 141 yards passing for Eric Hunter this afternoon, 82 for Torgerson, 275 yards. AG, let me interrupt myself and go down to you with Tony Hyman.
Okay, Tony Hyman, you guys worked hard, especially the last 4 weeks. Your thought on this big win?
Well, it's a big game for us, and all week long and all year long we practice hard, to come out for this game. And so, doing it before the game, Coach came out and he told us, we worked hard all year, and this is what we worked for. So we came out here to win this game, and that's what we did.
Tony, last year, disappointing moment about this time of the year when we didn't make those 3 yards. It feels a lot different today, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, like I said to Mike Keach, we the seniors, we stressed to the whole football team that 3 yards is what stopped us last year, and we was determined not to let it stop us this year.
Tony, great.
Ask Tony about those hook patterns when he was getting wide open.
Tony, you seem to be getting open a lot on those hook patterns today. Tell us what was working well for you.
Well, it was a 50-stop pattern, and what you do is just a flanker, just run like you're going to, like a fly pattern, and just get the first down and just come back, just stop and come back for the ball.
Once again, it's a pleasure, I'm assuming, having to work with Eric Hunter.
Yeah, and hopefully, both of us go to the same college and working.
Where y'all going? You got a package deal going somewhere?
No, I don't think so.
Well, good luck to you. We're going to be following you. You gave us a lot of thrills here with the Crabbers.
All right, thank you.
Tony Hyman.
Can I interview
I didn't want to interview AG. That's Todd Summer.
Todd Summer wants to interview me. Go ahead.
Okay, AG, I know you was with us all season long. I'd just like to know how you felt about this season.
Well, it was an outstanding season, Todd, and like I've told the other players, you guys have a lot of class, and y'all gave us a lot of thrills, and I enjoyed every moment of it.
Well, I know you all jumped on, Channel 29 jumped on FIBA's bandwagon for a while there and everything, but when we started regaining our power and moving up in the season, I'd just like to know how you felt about that specifically.
Well, Todd, we jump on all the bandwagons in Hampton, and the Crabbers, FIBA's, Kickerton, and Bethel.
Okay, I'm going to go along with that and leave y'all alone.
Great job, Todd Summers.
Todd may have been referring to one of the announcers mentioning earlier that Phoebus was a good team and perhaps even the better of the teams on the. I won't mention that guy's name, but he sure has eaten a lot of crow-flavored pizza over the last couple of days. Well, actually, if that was said, I think it was done to entice them to do that much. But these kids are really motivated when you say something wrong about it.
AG, I don't know if you can get to Billy Renz down there and run around. So maybe you catch some of those other people while AG is finishing up.
Tim, we got a very important man here, the superintendent of the schools and his sons. And Don Musselman, you have to be proud. In your tenure as superintendent, what is this number?
Gee, I tell you, I think we went 1 year without getting one.
Okay.
And that was close last year, almost had it. But today I started worrying that second half. I mean, this team was a good team they played against.
A lot of key plays today, Don, and several key plays.
Yeah, we should have had another one down there, but because sometimes you don't get everything you want in a situation like that. But we're certainly proud of this team. come along.
Great job, not only by the Crabber team, but the Mike Smith and his entire coaching staff.
I tell you, you can't beat that coaching staff. You can go all over the nation. You can't find a coaching staff like that.
Great job. Don Musselman, Superintendent of Schools.
Tell Dr. Don we said hi, and we sure appreciate all the support we're getting from him, AG.
All right, just if I may, while AG still roams around there, I'll just finish up these stats for you. Eric Hunter finished with 8 completions and 15 attempts. Torgerson 4 out of 9. Each of them was intercepted once. Third down conversions, the Crabbers converted 3 out of 9, while Robinson converted 3 out of 10. Penalties were not a major factor in the game, although the Crabbers had 2 for 20 yards and 5 for 36 against Robinson. The time of possession almost identical, just about 2 minutes more for the Crabbers, and that 2 minutes was apparently enough for them to score 3 more points. The Hampton Crabbers, as we mentioned, they missed the championship last year by oh so few inches and yards. This year they atoned for that loss, and they had a goal at the beginning of the season, and they stayed on target, and they finished with what they were shooting for.
Well, I think Dr. Musselman hit the nail on the head, Tim, and this coaching staff that the Crabbers have. Mike Smith has put together a good coaching staff, and they are so well prepared when they come into this ball game. And it's hard to beat a team that is prepared and does all the fundamentals as well as they do. I mean, they block and they tackle and they execute the way you're supposed to win, and that makes a big difference when you're at this level.
Well, the level that Hampton has achieved is one that very few teams will ever achieve. They scored 124 points in their playoff season and only gave up 27, and the bulk of those 27 came this afternoon in the 18 points scored by a good Robinson team, ranked 13th nationally. Certainly the Hampton Crabbers deserve to be ranked nationally, but more importantly at this point, they are the #1 team in the state of Virginia for the 3rd time in the last 5 years.
Oh, isn't that something?
AG, I understand you got Mike Smith down there. The victorious head coach of the Hampton Crabbers, Mike Smith. AG, we're not picking you up there, buddy.
All right, Mike, the game started with them controlling the line a little bit there, but then things changed. Your thoughts on the big win?
No, I don't think he controls so much. You know, a lot of times you got to get in the ball game, kind of get in the flow of things to see what they're doing, right? You know, the ball game had a lot of ironic twist to it. I think even on the opening kickoff, you know, we knocked the ball loose. And
Mike, it was a lot of key plays today. Several times there were several key plays. Your thoughts on those big plays?
Well, I think probably the key thing to making the ball game as close as it was probably when we got the penalty there in the 3rd quarter. You know, we just made a first down about the 25.
Illegal receiver, I believe.
Yeah, he's a young tackle. You know, he's had to fill in the last 2 games since Mitchell's been out, and he got downfield, and that's about a 14-point turnaround because you know we got back upfield. And
Mike. A lot of key players on this team, a lot of outstanding young athletes. Eric Hunter's leadership and James Wilson's leadership and many others. Your thoughts on the leadership this year?
Well, I just think, you know, that all of them were, you know, seniors just did an outstanding job. And it's just great. You know, they're great, hard-working kids, just a good bunch of youngsters. You know?
Great working coaching staff also. You're doing a great job.
Hey, well, you know, they do all the work. Huh?
Mike, this is number 7 for you and like number 12 or 13 for the school. Congratulations. Great job.
Well, thanks. It's not mine. It belongs to the kids, and that's where I want it to be.
Thank you. Mike Smith, great job.
I don't know if you didn't get to see it, AG, but the ball players came out and just doused Danny Mitchell with a bucket of water.
I better get out of here then.
You may want to make your exit. Well, the Hampton Crabbers are taking their time as they will be cherishing this victory for quite some time. And that's the one thing that I would say as having seen Hampton play, I guess about 7 or 8 games this year, is that they always showed that class of never giving up, always trying their best and always work. And the thing that I keep hearing from Danny Mitchell, Mike Smith, Alvis Mann, Lanny Franklin, any of the coaches we talk to is how hard these kids work.
And they got good work ethics, and you're right, Tim, they do, and that's one of the things that the coaches talk about. They prepare the game plan, they go out, and the kids work real hard in getting that game plan to work. And it's hard to get a game plan, especially when you're playing a team you've never seen them at all. Well, you look at the colleges and the pros, they see these teams all the time, and the preparation isn't as intense as it is in 1 week. You got to get ready for an opponent.
You're seeing the names of
Oh,
the
yes.
people. Jerome Young, Sam Still Jr., Angela Brown, our camera people have done a great job all season long. And there you see Keith Still and Joe Lewis. Joe Lewis working the instant replay for us this year. It's been a wonderful dimension that we've added. Bev Thaxton Penn, our character generator operator, and of course our director today, Scotty Bowers, and crew assistants Earl Johnson and Ryan Lewis. Dr. Sam Stills, our producer. There you see Scotty Bowers. Scotty has done a great job this season, as he has all along. Our coverage got better and better and better, and each time I didn't know we could. They didn't miss a play today. They had all the big plays. They had all the things that the fans want to see. We do want to hear from the fans. We'd like to hear from you. If you'd like to give your comments, good or bad, to the Hampton school system, you can call them at their new number, 850-5200 is the new phone number for the city school system. And call Dr. Sam Still's office and let us hear from you. We'd like to hear your comments, and we will look forward to having basketball season very shortly here. We're not sure of exactly when we'll be doing the games, but they'll be, at the very least, we'll be doing them in early January, I understand.
Oh, yeah, but because there are some good basketball teams on the peninsula, and we'll be able to see how quick Joe Lewis can adjust to that instant replay in basketball, which is a little quicker sport than football. But I just want to add my last word of congratulations and thank you to the staff that have they come up here and set up this equipment and just make yours and my job real easy, and especially those last 2 weeks when we was able to have some additional coverage of games in the past and last year's championship game. Jerome Young set that thing up, and Scotty Bowers and Sam just do an excellent job preparing for us, because this isn't the only thing they do, Tim. This is just a real small part of what this crew does. And, I just want to take my hat off and say thank you, because I really appreciate it. It makes us look awful good up here.
They do a great job, and we want to thank the crew, and we want to thank you viewers for watching this year. We want to also congratulate all the teams on the Peninsula District. The Bethel Bruins had a good season. The Phoebus Phantoms knocked off early in the playoffs of Division 5, but they are a team to be reckoned with next year. Of course, every year the Hampton Crabbers come back with a team, so we'll look forward to football next season. But right now we're going to enjoy the moment as the Hampton Crabbers have been crowned the 1988 Division 6 Group AAA High School Football Champions here at Todd Stadium. The final score, the Hampton Crabbers 21, the Robinson Rams 18. For A.G. Womble and Bob Hintz and Jerry Zomplis, this is Tim Cole. Thanks for watching, and we want to wish all of you out there the very best of holidays. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Good night, everybody.